Right then, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Manor Park Classics. Welcome to you on YouTube and online as well through the Manor Park Classics website. Welcome back to today's car auction. We had the bikes go through yesterday as well, so keep your eyes online. There might be some bikes still available as well. And as the Northwest's only fixed auction house for classic cars and motorbikes, this allows us to do extended viewing, get great pictures and videos for social media for all of your entries that you put in for us. Also allows us to offer extended sort of collection periods. We offer a week collection after the auction before charges apply. Fire safety today, if there's no drills planned, so if the fire alarm does go off, if you could leave through the nearest fire exit by the green signs or through the entrance you come in, we'll make sure everyone's assembled out through the front gates. Facilities today, if you need a bathroom, the toilets are down to the left. They are signposted from the mini room down to the bottom and on your right-hand side. If you need any drinks or refreshments or food, we have the facilities out in the car park for today's auction. We will also be filming today. There is a revolving camera that does go around, so just be aware of that. Also, if you could not sort of lean and stand on any of the cars and vehicles, because they are owned by someone at the moment and they will transfer and be owned by someone else after the auction. So if you could just treat them like your own, that would be much appreciated. Today's terms and conditions apply on the cars. The cars are sold at 12.5% plus VAT, subject to a minimum of £600 plus VAT. Provisional bids, again, we offer with a provisional bidding system here at Manor Park on the free stage sale process as well. Some of the cars you will see have already sold prior to the auction. We then have the auction, which will start very, very shortly. If the hammer doesn't go down, they're provisionally over to the sales team to a conversation that will happen between the buyer and the seller, and hopefully we can get another car hammered away for you. Moving on down we go. So the removals, £10 per lot per day thereafter. So you get a week's free storage, and then we charge £10 per lot per day there afterwards. We're also open tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the collections. We are closed on Monday as it's a bank holiday, and we hope everyone enjoys their bank holiday like we will be. Filming again, partners today, Kingfisher Insurance, Fast and Funded Finance, Barry Elding Car Transport, and KTL Car and Storage. Don't forget to check out for the next auctions coming up, and I'll go through them at the end of today's sale. Without further ado then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the auction. We're in straight away with lot number 201. It's a 1993 Ford Escort XR3i Cabriolet. Have a good look at this one, ladies and gentlemen. Being offered here with no reserve whatsoever today. I'm in straight away online. Has come in with a bid. I was in at 3, 4, 5. It's gone 750, 1,000, 1,250, 1,500, 1,750, £2,000, and we'll stay in the quarters now. Would anyone like 2,250? At 2,000 we start. At 2,000, 2,000's bid. At £2,000 coming in for the quarter now. At 2,000's the bid. Online has it here. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. I'll take 2-1 if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like another £100 on this one? At £2,000. Currently in Lancashire at the minute. At 2,000's bid. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Would anyone like another 100 on this one? Are we finished? Are we done? We will sell today, so make no mistake here. At £2,000 with the online bid then, the hammer's up for the first time on the first lot today at £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2-1, new bidder, thanking you. Liverpool bidder, it's with you now at 2,001. Say 2-2 if you wish to go again. At 2,001. At 2-1's bid. At 2,000, 2,001, we're bid now at 2,100. Is with you online. Are we finished? Are we done? It's your last chance in fair warning. I'm going to sell here at 2,100. The hammer's up. At 2,100, we're bid once. At 2,100, we're bid twice, and selling with you online at £2,100 it goes. Sold at £2,100. Thank you very much there, online bidder. You are 7196. 7196. Thanking you. Moving on to lot number 202 in today's sale. 2003, a Jaguar XJR, the 4.2, no reserve, supercharged V8. What a Jaguar this is, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good look around. Have a good look at your images online. We're straight in. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,005, 3,000's bid. At 3,000's my bid here at 3,000, 3,500 is with you online. £4,000 is back to me. 4's my bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, just press that bid there once. At £4,000 is with me on the book. You're back in at 4,500. My commission interest is out. At 4,005 online. At 4,000, 4,005 with the online bid here. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,500. Online bidder at the minute is with you in Hertfordshire. At 4,005. We'll take the quarter. Would anyone like a 250 bid? At 4,005 we're bid. At 4,000, 4,005. 4,750 new bidder. Welcome to you in Berkshire. At 4,750 is bid. Take it to 5 if anyone wishes to come in now. At £4,750 is going to sell today, make no mistake. At 4,750 is bid. At 4,000, 4,750 and £5,000. Hertfordshire, you're back. At 5,000's bid. At 5,000, 5,000. Say 250 if you're coming back in. At 5,000, the bid is online and selling today, make no mistake. At 5,000's bid. At 5,000, are we finished and done? Would anyone else like to come in now? Hammer's up then. And it sells this time and away it goes. At 5,000 once. At 5,000 twice. And it sells online at £5,000. Sold at 5,000. Thank you very much there, online bidder. And you are 17448, 17448. Thanking you. Moving on to lot number 203. It's the first of one of the Subarus in today's sale. This is the 2006 Impreza WRX STI. Have a good look at this one, ladies and gentlemen. Stunning, stunning Subaru, this one. And we're showing 42,000 miles with an MOT until October 2026. And I'm straight in at 8,000, 8.5, 9, 9.5 and £10,000 we start. We'll stay in the 500s. At 10,000's bid. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Coming in for 5. At £10,000 is the bid now at 10. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Would anyone else like to come in for another 5 here? At £10,000 we're bid. At 10,000, 10,000. Coming in for the 5 now. At £10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Are we finishing done then? Maiden bid here at £10,000, 10,500. At 10,500 and 11 back to my commission bid. At £11,000. 11's bid with me here. At £11,000. Just move it on one. There we go. At £11,000. At 11,000, 11,000. Online, would you like to come back in for 11,500? At £11,000. Are we all finished and done here? At just £11,000, make no mistake, in 5. Thank you, online. Knutsford bidder now at 11,500. 12,000's back to me. At 12,000 with my commission interest here. At 12,500. At 12,500 and 13,000 now. 13,000 with me. At 13,000, 13,000. Would you like another 5? At £13,000. At 13,000, 13,000. Are we all finished and done here? At just £13,000 online, would you like another 5 now? At £13,000, if you're all finished and done, we'll count you down. At 13,005. At 13,500. My interest is out now. It's with you online. Cheshire bidder there at 13,005. At 13,500. Would anyone else like to take it to 14? At £13,500. The bid is here online with you at 13,005. At 13,500, 13,500. Are we all finished? Are we all done? Last chance in fair warning. I will submit the bid to the vendor today, so make no mistake. At 13,500 once, twice. Finished and done then at £13,500. That is very provisional online at £13,500. We'll take it over to the sales team and we'll be in touch with you very, very, very shortly. And that is to bidder 630. Early day bidder there as well. Thanking you. Moving on to lot number 204. 1974 Triumph Stag. No reserve car again. Highly original there, it says here. I've got loads of commission interest on my book with me. We're going to go straight in at £1,000 with you. 1,000's bid, 1,500. I got commission interest here. I'm going to go 2,000, 2,005, 3,000, 3,005, 4,000, 4,005, and £5,000 now. At 5,000, 5,000. Take a 500 for one more if you're coming in. At 5,000, 5. And 6,000 back to my interest here. At £6,000 with my bidder. At 6,000, 6,005. I'm out and you're in online. Thanking you. At 6,005. I'll take the quarters now. My commission interest is over. Online bid at the minute at 6,005. Would anyone like 6,750? Yes, you do. Thanking you online. A Lancashire bidder now. At £6,750, we are bid. At 6,750, would you like to go 7? At 7 you do, thanking you. Surrey bidder now at £7,000. We'll stay in the quarters. At 7,000, 7,000. At £7,000 is the bid now at 7. At 7,000, 7,000. At 7,250, thanking you there. At 7,250, we are bid. At 7,250. 7,5. At 7,500's bid. At 7,005. Would you like to go again online, or anyone in the room like to come and have a go? At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005. All finished and done then. We'll count you down. We're selling today, so make no mistake. At 7,500, the bid is with you online, and the hammer's up once. At 7,005, twice. All finished, all done, and it sells this time with you online at £7,500. Sold at 7,500. Thank you very much, online bidder. And you are 20612, 20612. Thanking you very much. Moving down we go to lot number 205, 1967. It's this Jensen. I'm going to go over to Mr. Steve Berry to tell you all about it. Maybe not. We are outside. I'm not sure if the cameras are going. If you can hear me outside, good to go there. If not, we are going to move on. I just need to get a thumbs up from someone. We're going to go on anyway. Lot number 205, the 1967 Jensen there. We're going to go in on this one. The Jensen Interceptor, rare vintage Mark 1 this one is. Where are we going to go? Start me off on this one. I'm straight in at 9,000 with you online. At 9,005 and £10,000. At 10,000 with my commission interest here. At 10,000, go 5 again. At 10,000, 10,000. At 10,000, 5. At 10,500 is bid. At 10,005 and at 11,000 if you wish to go again. At 10,005 with the online bid at the minute. At 10,005. At 10,000, 10,005. At 10,500 is bid. At 10,005, anyone for 11 now? At 10,005. Would anyone else like to go 11? At 10,005 is bid. At 10,005, are we finished and done? Last chance in fair warning this time then. At 10,005, I'll take 11 if anyone else is interested now. Are we all finished and done on the Jensen here? At just £10,500. Once, twice, finished and done then at 10,500 with the online bid. Make no mistake, at 10,005. That is provisionally with you online at 10,005, 1063.
This has increased his bid.
Right then, moving on to lot number 206. Lot number 206 is this lovely Porsche Cayman. It's the 2.7 there. The 2.7 Cayman looks great there in the black as well. I'm going to go straight in at 3, 3.5 and £4,000 we start. 2006 Porsche Cayman at 4,000's bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Would anyone else like to come in for 5? At 4,000 is bid. At 4,000, 4,005. At 4,005 and 5,000 back to me. At 5,000's bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 is the bid. Would you like to go 500 anywhere else? At £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000. Are we finished and done? I'll take 250 if it helps anyone else out. At £5,000 is bid with me at the minute. At 5,000, 5,000. Would anyone else like to have a go on this one? Lovely little Cayman here. At £5,000. Say 5,250 if you wish to come in then for the quarter bites. At £5,000. Would anyone else like a small one now? Are we finished and done? At just £5,000, I'll take a quarter now if anyone else wishes to come in. If not, we will count it down. At 5,000 once. At 5,000 twice. All finished, all done then at £5,000. Provisionally with my commission interest there, and we are 1084. Provisional, £5,000. Thanking you. Moving on to lots number 207. Lot number 207, a 1990 Mercedes-Benz this time. This one's gone, that's all. The 1990 Mercedes-Benz, the 190E. The sport line here, got several commission bids with me. I'm going to go straight in at 4,000, 4,500, 5,000, 5,500, 6,000, 6,500, and £7,000 I start on the interest with me here, and it's going to sell today at £7,000. I'll take 250 if anyone else wants to come in now. At 7, I can't take 7.5. I've got 7.5 here, and I'll take 7.50 if they come back in. Just go 7.5, and then take 7.50 if they come in. On the book with me and selling today. Online bidder, it's not you. If you know the game, you know what comes next. 7.50, you're in and I'm out. Thank you very much, online. At 7,750, thank you, Phil. At £7,750 is bid. At 7,750 is the bid now at 7,750. My book is done. It's your bid online in Cambridgeshire. Would anyone else like to come in now? Are we finished? Are we done? Are we going to sell? At 7,750, the hammer is up. At 7,750, the bid then once, twice. Finished and done and selling away with you online at £7,750 it goes. Sold at £7,750 to bidder number 20310. 20310. Thanking you. Moving on down the list we go. 208 is the 1965. It's the Elvis TE21 Saloon. Look at this. Lovely, lovely vintage car indeed. And I'm going to go straight in at 5, 6, 7, and £8,000. At 8,000 I start. Say 500 if you're coming in. At 8,005 you're in online. At 8,500 and 9. At £9,000 with me. At 9's bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Say 5 for one more. At 9,005 online bid and 10,000 back to my commission interest. At 10,000's bid. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. At £10,000 is the bid now at 10. At 10,000, 10,000, anyone else for another 5? At £10,000, are we all finished and done? At just £10,000, I'll take a quarter if it helps you out, underbidder. At £10,000, would you like 250 anywhere else? At 10,000, 10,000. At £10,000, take the 250 if anyone wants to come in for the small one. At £10,000, are we finished, are we done? It's your last chance in fair warning. Once, twice, finished and done at just £10,000. Provisionally here at 10,000, that's 811, provisional bid, £10,000. Moving on to lot number 209, if I pass that one over to you, Damon. Lot number 209, we are on to the 1982 BMW 520i on the E12 chassis as well. Have a good look at this one. It says credible low mileage on this one at 52,000 miles showing. Great one indeed. Anyone start me off at £3,000 here? I've got a bid on the book, but a bit reluctant to start it there. Anyone help me out at £3,000? Three's bid. Thank you, online. My commission interest is out at 3,000's bid. Say 3,500 if anyone wishes to come in now. At 3,000 bid. At 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is bid now at 3. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 we're bid with the online bidder here. I'll take 250s if it helps anyone out. Little money this is at just £3,000 for the 1982 BMW 520i. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000. At 3,000, would anyone else like to come in now? At 3,000's bid. 3,250. I see you, sir. Sorry about that. At 3,250, not you online. Gentleman's bid in the room at 3,250. 3,500. 3,500 coming in, surely. Just press the floor priority there. Here we go. At 3,250, gentlemen's in the room, not you online. You need to go 3,500 if you're coming back in. At £3,250, we're bid. At 3,250, 3,250. Underbidder, would you like to come back in again? 3,500 they do. You're out now, sir. At 3,005, we are back online. With you in Kent. Still at 3,500. At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005 we're bid. Would anyone else like to come in again? At 3,005, are we finished and done here? At just 3,005, make no mistake. At 3,005 is bid. At 3,000, 3,500, we'll count it down then once. At 3,500, the bid is here online. Make no mistake, twice, finished and done. 3,750 bid, new bidder. Cheshire bidder, you couldn't let that one go, could you? At 3,750, you're in now. At 3,750's bid. At 3,750, would you like to go 4? At 3,750, you coming back in underbidder. It's your turn now if you wish to go again. At 3,750, we'll count it down then. The bid is here online. Cheshire bidder, at 3,750, the bid is with you once. At £3,750, the bid then twice. All finished, all done. Online bid at £3,750. That is provisionally with you online at £3,750. That is a provisional bid to bidder number 3552. 3552. Moving down the list we go to lot number 210 is the 2025, is the Smith Beetle. And I absolutely love this one. But what can you tell us about it, Steve?
Australia has given the world so much. Kylie Minogue, Crocodile Dundee. Aussie rules football, which is like Gaelic football, but with even more fighting. When it comes to the automotive world, the Australians invented Speedway and the Ute, the utility vehicle. Remember the Castlemaine 4X advert where they pile it up with beer and they get a bottle of sherry for the Sheila and it breaks its back? Well, they wouldn't do that with this because this is a Smythe Ute based on a Volkswagen Beetle. So much work is done to convert it into this fantastic, funky, modern, retro-looking utility vehicle that the DVLA in this country won't accept it as a Volkswagen anymore. It's a Smythe Ute, and it's just been IVA'd. It's just passed that IVA after over £20,000 worth of work on it. And so it's a brand new vehicle. It doesn't need an MOT for another 3 years. We have marvelled at the quality of the work on this. Everybody loves it. Come on, what a great promotional vehicle this would make. In fact, at the sort of money it costs to build and the sort of money we're expecting it to go for, you'd be a drongo to miss it, mate.
There we go. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the bids in. I've got several bids on my book on this one. 5, 5.5, 6, 6,500 we start. Say 7 next. Find another ute like this. At £6,500 with my commission interest here. 7's in online and I'm out. At 7,000's bid. At 7,000, 7,000, would anyone like to go 5? At £7,000 is the bid. It's with you online at the minute in Warrington there at £7,000. Local bidder. At 7,000, 7,000. At 7,000's bid. At £7,000 is the bid now at 7. Would anyone like another 5? At 7,000 bid. At 7,000, 7,000. We're here on the Volkswagen Beetle Ute at £7,000. I'll take quarters. I shouldn't need to, but we'll take the 250 if it helps anyone else out coming in. At £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. At 7,000 is the bid now at 7. Coming back in for the quarter anywhere else at £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. The bid is online. At £7,000, say 250 if anyone else wishes to come in. At 7,000, we're bid. At 7,000, 7,000. Online or anywhere else. Would you like to go again? At £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. The bid is here online. At 7,000, coming in for the quarter now. At £7,000. At 7,000 once. At 7,000 twice. All finished and done then. I'll submit the bid to the vendor at £7,000. All finished and done at 7,000. That's your bid online there at £7,000, and you are 1047, £7,000. Moving on down, we go to lot number 211, the first of the Astons in today's sale. It's this lovely 1998 Aston Martin DB7. It's the i6 there in the Solent silver as well with the grey leather interior. Lovely looking Aston. This is showing about 82,000 miles on the clock, and I'm going to go straight in at £5,000. At 5's bid. At £5,000 for an Aston Martin here. At just 5,000, say 5,500 if you're coming in. At 5,000's bid. At 5,005. At 5,005 and 6,000 back to me. At 6, I'll take your bid online at £6,000, and I'm out at 6,000's bid. At £6,000, with you currently endorse it at £6,000. Say 5 if anyone else wants to come in. At 6,000's bid. At 6,000, 6,000. I'll tell you what, we're going 250s. 6,250 at top, 6,500's coming online. Would you like another one? 6,750. At 6,750, we're in the room. At 6,750, say 7 if you want to come back in now. At 6,750 for a DB7, make no mistake, and £7,000, Dorset bidder, and 250 again. At 7,250 up top. At 7,250's bid. At 7,250, 7,250. Online, would you like to go 7,500? At 7,250, we are bid. At 7,250 is the bid now at 7,250. Are we finished and done online? You coming back in for one more? At 7,250, make no mistake, the bid is here in the room, 7,500. 7,750. 7,750 back in, say 8,000 for one more. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put the hammer up. 8's bid. 8,000 now. Shakes the head. Thank you anyway, sir. At £8,000 is currently off to Dorset. At £8,000, would anyone else like a quarter? At 8,000, 8,000, the hammer's up. Make no mistake, we're going to sell today. 8,250's bid. 8,500? 8,500, gentleman's bid. 8,005. At 8,005's the bid. At 8,500, hammers up once. At 8,005, twice. Make no mistake, I'm going to sell this time and away it goes. 8,750. Sorry about that. 8,750's bid. At 8,750, take 9 if anyone else is coming in now. It was a new bidder as well, in Newbury at 8,750, making an entrance at the end. We're going to go once, twice, hammers up, and away it sells at 8,750, all finished and done 8,750. Sold at £8,750. Thank you very much there. Online buyer 1496. Moving down the list we go to lot number 212, 1968. It's the Rover P6, one of the nice looking Rovers out in the front. There's a couple of them there. Absolute stunning cars some of these Rovers are. I love this one indeed. It's the P6, it's the 3,500 V8. There we go. And I'm going to go straight in. I got loads of commission interest on the book, so just bear with me a minute. We're going to go straight in where you start. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,005 and £3,000 I start. At 3,000's bid. Say 5 if anyone wishes to come in. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 on the Rover V6 here. At 3,000's bid. Little money this is at just £3,000. Would anyone like to come in for 250? We'll go to the quarter bites. Smaller bids coming in. Anyone for a 250 at £3,000? 3,250. Thank you very much. With you in Merseyside at 3,250 and 3,500 back to my commission interest. At 3,005. At 3,005. 3,750. 4,000's bid. £4,000. Go 250 again online if you wish to go for one more. At £4,000 is still with my commission bidder. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,250 and 4,500. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. I'll take 750 if you wish to go again. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. Are we finished and done online? Would you like the 750? 4,750 you do. 5,000 back to me though, unfortunately. At £5,000 is bid. At 5,000, 5,000. Say 250 again if you're coming back in online. Don't leave it too long. At 5,000's bid. At 5,000, 5,000 on the 1968 Rover P6. Would you like to go again online? There's still a couple of you hovering away. At 5,000, I'm going to count it down. Make no mistake. At £5,000 once. At £5,000 twice. All finished, all done, and selling away with my commission interest. Make no mistake, it's going to go at £5,000. Sold at £5,000. Thank you to whoever left that bid. 3033. That is now your vehicle. Moving on to lot number 213 this time. Lot number 213. 2001 is the year. Have a good look. It's the Bentley Arnage, a red label. Charming Bentley this is. Absolute great machine indeed. I'm going to go straight in at £5,500 and £6,000. I start with me now. At £6,000. Would anyone else like to come in? 6,500. 7,000's bid. Would you like 5 again? One more might do it, sir. At 7,000's bid. At 7,000, 7,000. Coming back in for the 5s. At £7,000. I'll take 250 if it helps you out. At 7,000 bid. At 7,000, 7,000. Would anyone like a quarter bite from this stage? At £7,000. The bid is here with me. At £7,000. Take 250 for one more. Find another Bentley like this. At £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. Are we finished and done? Make no mistake. Last chance in fair warning. 7,250. You're in online and my commission interest is out. At 7,250 with the online bid. Take 7,500 from anywhere else. At 7,250 is bid. At 7,250, 7,250. Would anyone else like to come in for one more? At 7,250, are we finished and done? We'll submit the bid to the vendor today, make no mistake. At 7,250, the bid is here. At 7,250, are we finished? Are we done? The last chance in fair warning this time and away. I'll count it down. Are you sure, sir? Would you like one more? At 7,250, the bid then once, twice. Finished and done then at £7,250. That is provisionally with you online at £7,250 to 921. Moving down we go. Lot number 214, 1974. It's the Rolls-Royce Corniche. Have a good look at this one. Lovely Corniche this is. Looks absolutely great indeed. Have a good look there. Stunning in the showroom. Gleaming away under the lights. Going to go straight in at 5, 6, 7 and £8,000 with me. 8, 9 and 10. 11 and 12. At 12,000, I can start here at £12,000 with my interest at 12. I'd like to see 13 next. At £12,000, go 13 if we can. We'll take the thousands on this one. At £12,000. At 12,000, 12,000's bid. At 13,000, 14's bid. At 14,000 now. At 14,000, 14,000, say 15 next if we can. At £14,000. At 14,000, 14,000. At 14,000, 15's bid. 15, 16,000 now. £16,000 with my commission interest here at £16,000. At 16,000, 16,000. Would anyone else like to go 17? At £16,000, 1974, a Rolls-Royce Corniche at 16,000's bid. At 16,000, 16,000. At £16,000 is bid. 17 if you're coming in anywhere else. At £16,000, is that all we're going to see today? Are we sure and done? At £16,000, cheap little bargain this could be. At £16,000, all finished and done. The last chance in fair warning then at just £16,000. At 16,000, 16,000, finished and done. Once, twice. Finished and done then at £16,000. 17, sneaking in. Unfortunately online, I've got 18. 18,000's bid. £18,000. At 18,000, 19. 19,020's back to me, but one more online. Come back in again. At £20,000. At 20,000, 20,000, 21. You're in now, and I'm out. At 21,000's bid. At 21,000. At 21, 21. At 21,000's the bid now at 21. Would you like to go 22 anywhere else? At 21,000 is bid. At 21, 21, all finished and done then. At £21,000, the bid is here online. At 21,000 once. At 21,000 twice, all finished and done then. At £21,000, submit the bid. 1063 at £21,000. Moving on to lot number 215. 2016 is the year on this Subaru Impreza. It's the WRX. And what can you tell us about this, Mr. Steve Berry?
Now, I'm 62 next week, and yes, I don't look it. But one of the problems with being older is that you tend to bang on all the time about how things were better back in the day. And the problem is, they were. Because let's face it, Road Rally was a lot better back in the day than it was now. Back when Subaru, Mitsubishi, Lancia, Toyota, they all developed absolutely awesome cars to compete in the world's most demanding motorsport championship, the World Rally Championship. And then all of that wisdom was distilled into road-going vehicles like this one. It's a 2016 Subaru WRX STI. It's got a 2.5-litre turbocharged boxer engine, an incredibly sophisticated four-wheel drive system, and it's in Rally Blue, made famous, of course, by the mighty Colin McRae in the 555 Subaru World Rally car. It is one of the last of the truly mechanical monsters. Things have been sanitised since then, and the soundtrack out of those exhaust pipes, well, it's glorious, isn't it? Things were better back in the day, weren't they? They were.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Subaru Impreza, we're going to start the bidding off at just £8,000. At 8,000's bid. Say 8.5 if you wish to come in. At 8,000 bid. At 8,005, in 9,000's back to me. At 9,500, 9,500's bid in the middle of the room. At 9,005, at 9,005. At 10,000's in online, at £10,000, 10,500, thank you, sir. At 10,005, my commission interest is out now, at 10,005. Gentleman's bid, at 10,005. Would anyone like to go 11? At 10,500 we're bid. At 10,500, 10,500, 10,500. At 10,005, coming back in for the 11 now. At 10,005, you finished and done online. 11 we're not, thank you very much. 11,000's bid. £11,000. 11,000, 11,000. £11,000 with the online bid here. I'll take the quarters now if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like a 250? At £11,000. The bid is online. At £11,000 is bid. 11,000, 11,000. £11,000 is the bid now at 11. Are we finishing done then? At just £11,000. Surely there's one more. At £11,000. Who would like a quarter bite? At 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000 is the bid now at 11. Are we finishing done at just £11,000? At 11,000, 11,000. At 11,000, 11,000. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning. Then I will submit the bid. 11,250 back in. 11,250. New bidder this time. With you in Conway. 11,250 is bid. 11,250. Would you like 11,500? 11,250 is bid. 11,000, 11,250 is your bid currently online here. I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake. 11,250 is bid. Would anyone like to go 11,500? Are we finished and done? Last chance in fair warning this time and away. At £11,250, the bid is here online once, twice. Finished and done then at £11,250. That's your bid provisionally online. 20205, 2025, 11,250. Provisional. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 216. Have a good look at this one. The star of the show today, right below the stage. What a car. The 2019 de Havilland DVT, the GTS. Possibly the finest example available. I have got a list as long as my arm of bids on this one. Everyone wants it. What a absolute stunning machine it really, really is. And it's going to be going straight in today at £20,000. 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 and £28,000 and in the market from the word go. At 28,000 it's gonna sell today. I'd like to see 29 next if we can. At 28,000 is bid. At 28, 28 here. At 28, 29, gentleman's bid, thanking you, not you online. At £29,000 in my commission interest is done and dusted. At 29,000. At 29, 29, say 30 if you're coming in now. Surely 30,000 were bid. At 30,000 with the online bidder, it's your bid in the West Midlands now. At £30,000. At 30,000, 30,005. At 30,500, I'll take it, sir. Thanking you. At 30,005, we're going the 500s now. Would you like to go 31 underbidder? Yes, please, they say. At £31,000. At 31,31. At 31,005, thanking you. At 31,005, gentleman's bid. At 31,005. At 31,500, coming back in now online for £32,000. Would you wish to go again? At 31,500, are we sure? Are we done and dusted? Would you like to come back in for one more? Yes, please, they say. At 32,000 with our West Midlands bidder, you're back in the lead. At £32,000. At 32, 32. At £32,000. At 32, would you like another 5, sir? 32,500, yes, please, he says. At 32,005. At 32,500. At 32,005, say 33 if you're coming back in. Find another that looks this good, ladies and gentlemen. At £33,000, thanking you. At £33,000. At 33,000, thank you anyway though, sir. At £33,000, the bid is here online. Make no mistake. I'll tell you what, because you've come in all the way, I'll do the quarter bite if it helps you out. Would you like 33,250? Yes, please. At 33,250, thanking you. At 33,250, I'll take 33,500 next if you wish to come back in. At 33,250, gentleman's bid, make no mistake online. 33,500, back to the West Midlands. At 33,500, thanking you. At 33,500 is currently off to the West Midlands here. At 33,500. At 33,33. At 33,500, we are bid. Are we finished and done? Would anyone else like to come back in for one more? At 33,005. At 33,500, all finished and done. 2019, the de Havilland here at 33,750 back in. Thank you, sir. At 33,750. At 33,750, coming back in now for 34 online. At 33,750, it's going to sell today. 34. At £34,000, thanking you. At 34,000. At 34. At 34,000 is the bid. Are we finished and done here? At £34,000 with you, West Midlands bidder. At £34,000, the hammer is up for the first time on this one here. At 34,000. At 34. At 34,250, thank you, sir. At 34,250, gentlemen's back in now. At 34,250 were bid. At 34,250, the de Havilland here. At 34,250, hammers up again. 35, not for long, they say online. West Midlands bidder is back. It's been a good battle on this one. At 34,005. At 34,005, I don't think it deserves anything less. At 34,005, the bid is with you in the West Midlands. At 34,005. At 34,500, are we finished and done then? Hammers back up again. At 34,500, the bid then once with the West Midlands bidder online. At £34,500, the bid then twice. Are we sure? Ladies and gentlemen, at £34,500, the de Havilland at Manor Park Classics is going to sell once, twice, finished and done at £34,500. Sold at £34,500. Thank you very much to the online bidder there and also to the underbidder. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. 19018. Right, moving on down we go to lot number 217's up next. 2010 is the year on this one, and it's the Saab 9.3. Have a good look here. It's the Saab 9.3. It's the V6 X-wheel drive as well. Where are we going to go on this one? Someone start me off. Who's got £3,000 to start? Seems reasonable. Three's bid. Three's with me. At 3,005. 3.5's bid. 4,000 back to me. At 4,000's my bid here. At £4,000. One more. At 4,000 bid. At 4,000, 4,000, go 5 online. At 4,000's bid. At 4.5. And 5,000 back to me, though. At 5,000's my bid here. At 5,000, 5,000, 5. 6,000's my bid. At 6,000, 6,000, go 5 for one more online. At £6,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take the 250 if it helps you come back in. It's my commission interest, and it's going to sell today. The hammer's up. 6,250. You're in and I'm out. Thank you very much, online bidder. At 6,250, the bid is with you. I'll take 6.5 if anyone else wishes to come in. At 6,250, it will sell today, so make no mistake. At 6,250, the bid then once, twice, finished and done. Hammer's up. 6.5, thanking you. Devon bidder, you are back. At 6,005 and 6,750. At 6,750, 6,750. At 6,750, I'll take 7 if you're coming back in now. At 6,750, hammers up and away we sell. At 6,750, the bid then once, twice, finished and done, and it sells with you, online bidder, at £6,750. Sold at 6,750, thanking you. And that was to bidder number 3552, 3552, thanking you very much online. Moving on to lot number 218. Lot number 218 in today's sale, 1997. It's the Ford Probe. You don't see many of these around anymore. It's the Ford Probe. It's the 2-litre, 16-valve there. Only 24,000 warranted miles, it says here as well. You're straight in online at £3,000. I had 2, so you've beat me there. Thank you, online bidder. You're in at £3,000. We'll go in the quarters on this one. Would anyone like 250? At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000 on the 1997 Ford Probe here. At just £3,000 we start. 250 if you're coming in. At 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is the bid. Would you like to go again anywhere else? I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake. At just £3,000 with the online bidder here. At 3,000, 3,000. Are we finished and done then? I'll count it down. Once, twice. Finished and done. 3,250's bid. New bidder there. At 3,250, making a last-minute bid there. At 3,250, you're back in. Say 3.5 if you wish to go again. 3.5, thank you very much. At 3,005, the Ford Probe here at just 3,005 is bid. At 3,005. And at 3,005, very, very little in mileage. At 24,000 miles, at 3,500 is very little money here. Would anyone like to go 750? I'll count it down if not. At 3,500 for the first time with you online bidder. At 3,500 for the second time then. All finished, all done at £3,500. That's provisional with you online at £3,500. That is a provisional bid to bidder number 14336. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 219. Lot number 219. Have a good look here. It is the lovely, lovely 1958 Austin Healey frog-eyed sprite there in the red. Nice little cute classic indeed. At 3,000 to start me off, surely. 3,000 to go. Frog-eyed sprite here. Get it going today for £3,000. I do have a commission bid on my book, but I'm a bit reluctant to start there. So £3,000 to kick it off. 3,000 surely. Thank you very much online. At £3,000, I had a £1,000 bid, so it's much better than mine. At 3,000, you're in. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Go 500 anywhere else. At £3,000 is bid. 3,500, gentleman's bid. I see you, sir. Thanking you. At 3,005, make it 4 if you're coming back in online. At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005. I'll take 250 if it helps anyone out. We'll go to the quarters now. At 3,005. Would anyone else like to come in? 3,750. Thank you, sir. 4. 250. 4,250 right-handed. 4,500. 4,600. Okay. Would you like 4,700, sir? 4,700. Shakes the head. Gentleman's bid here at 4,700. I'll take 4,800 if anyone's coming in now. At 4,700. At 4,000, 4,700. Last chance in fair warning then. We'll submit the bid at 4,700. Gentleman's bid here. I'm going to count it down at 4,700. Your bid, sir. Once, twice. Finished and done at £4,700. Provisionally with you, sir. At £4,700. 781. 781. £4,700. And I'm sure the sales team on the desk will be in touch with you very, very shortly. Moving on to lot number 220 this time. Lot number 220 is 2008 Land Rover. I love a Land Rover, and I absolutely love this one as well. What a monstrous machine, and what can you tell us about it, Steve?
Well, Tom, I can tell you that it's a rare single cab model and that it did start its life very much as a working vehicle in the Lake District. It's been restored, rejigged a little bit, painted white. We've got these gloss black wheel extenders, some big alloy wheels, and some lovely brand new BF Goodrich tyres, as well as a schnorkel there, should that be something that you're interested in. In an automotive world where four-wheel drives become less like what they were supposed to be, working vehicles, utility vehicles, don't follow the herd. We've got a picture with all the sheep in the back of this one from its previous life. And get into one of these, a working vehicle that's still very much up for the job.
There we go. The Land Rover 110 pickup looks great indeed, and I'm going to go straight in at £8,000 and £9,000 to start. At just £9,000, little money here for the Land Rover. At £9,000, say 9,500 if you're coming in. At 9,500, and 10,000's back to me. At 10,000 with my commission interest, say 10,500 if you're coming in. At £10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. At 10,000, 5. At 10,500 and I'm out. You're in online. My commission interest is out at 10,005. Online bid. At 10,005. At 10,000, 10,005 were bid. At 10,005. Coming back in for the 11 now. At 10,005. At 10,000, 10,500 on the 110 pickup here. At 10,005. Workhorse indeed. At 10,500. The bid is online. At 11. I thought you were just waving. That's £11,000. 11,000's bid. 11,000, 11,000. £11,000 coming back in for the 5 online. Would you like to go again? Gentleman's bid here at 11,000 bid. 11,000, 11,000. Anyone else for 5 now? Are we finished and done? I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake, at just £11,000. 11,000, 11,000, the bid then once. £11,000, the bid then twice. All finished and done. Gentleman's bid at £11,000. Provisionally with you, 11,173. There we go. Move that one down. Lot number 221. Lot number 221 Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another lovely Aston Martin in today's sale. 1995 Aston Martin DB7. It's beautiful, this one. I love the colouring on it. It looks great in the green. One of my favourites of the DB7s in today's sale. I'm going to go straight in. I've got several commission bids here. You've got some online as well. You're in at 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9. £9,500 is bid with me here at 9,005. You're in at 10. Oh, 10. I'm going to go 10.5 and £11,000 with me. I need to see 500 again more. 11,000's with me here on the book. At £11,000. At 11,000, 11,000. Say 500 if anyone wants to come in now. At £11,000 is bid. At 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000 is bid. 11.5. Thank you, sir. 11.5's in. My commission interest is out. Gentleman's bid here at 11,005. At 11,000, 11,005. 12. 12,000. £12,000. At 12,000 now. And we are on sale as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go today at £12,000. Would you like another 500, gentlemen? At £12,000. Hammers up. At 12,005. At 12,500. Thank you very much. 13,000. At 13,000's bid. At 13,000, 13,000. At 13,000's the bid. Would you like to go 5 again? At £13,000. Gentleman's bid. All the biddings in the room on this one. At 13,000, hammers up. At 13,000, 13,000. I'll take 250 if it brings you back in, but it's your last chance in fair warning. At 13,000 once. Twice, 13,250, thank you. 13.5 straight away. At 13.5. At 13.5, 13.5. Take 750 now. At 13,005. 13,750. 13,750, 14. 14,000. At 14,000 now. We'll stay in the 250s for you though, gentlemen. At £14,000, we're up top on the mez. At 14,000's bid. At 14,000, 14,000. At 14,000, hammers up, and it sells today. Make no mistake, at 14,000 once, twice, finished and done. This time it goes at £14,000. Sold at £14,000, and you are 173. Thanking you. Moving down the list we go to lot number 222, 1990 Jaguar XJS. This one's over there. Looks great indeed. Again, it's the 5.3 convertible. This one is. I absolutely love this. We're going to go straight in. Joe, just undo that bid there. I've got 2,000 on the book. You've got 2,000 on the book. 2,5, 2,5, and 3,000 will start. 3,000's bid. At 3,000, say 5 if you're coming in. 3,5. My commission interest is out. At 3,005, gentleman's bid. At 3,005. Say 4,000 if anyone wants to come in now. At 3,005, 4's bid. At £4,000 online. We'll stay in the 500s. At 4,000's bid. Would anyone like to go 5 again? At 4,000, 4,000 bid. At £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Take 500 now if you're coming back in. At just £4,000 is bid. At 4,000, 4,000. Take the 500s again at 4,005. Thank you, sir. At 4,500 at the back of the room. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. Say 5,000 if you're coming back. I'll tell you what, I'll take the call, sir. 4,750. Won't go any lower on this one. At 4,005, we're at the back of the room. At 4,005. Say 750 if anyone wants to come in. At 4,005. Are we finished and done then? At 4,750's bid. 4,750. With you locally in Cheshire as well. 4,750. Would you like 5? At 4,750 is bid online. At 4,755, thank you. At £5,000. Online, your turn. Would you like to go again? At 5,000, 5,000 we're bid. At £5,000 is the bid now at 5. Are we finished and done? We'll count it down online. Make no mistake. At 5,000, 5,000 the bid then once. At 5,000 the bid then twice. Finished and done at £5,000. Your bid, sir, £5,000. Provisional. We're quite close on that one. I'm sure we'll get an answer back for you very shortly. 795. Thank you. 795. Moving down we go, 223, 1965 is the Austin Mini. It's the Countryman, this one, the Countryman in red there. Where are we going to go on this? I'm going to go straight in at just £4,000. At 4,000 on the Mini Countryman here. Say 4,500 if you're coming in. At 4,000 we start. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. At £4,000 is the bid now at 4. At 4,000, 4,000, are we finishing done on the book with me here at just £4,000? Are we sure? At 4,000, 4,000. I'll take 250 if it helps anyone come in. At 4,250 bid. At not you online, 4,250. Gentleman's bid. Just press that priority button. At 4,250 here. At 4,250, 4,250. Online, you need to go 4,500 if you're coming back in. Bargain buy this could be. At 4,250 is the bid. At 4,250 once. Twice. Finished and done then at £4,250. Provisionally, 777. All the sevens. I like it, sir. Thank you very much. 4,250. That is a provisional bid. Moving down we go to lot number 224, 1999, another one of the lovely Rovers that's parked out front. This one is the 820 Vitesse, and we're going to go no reserve again. It says unmolested turbo here with 57,000 recorded miles on it. Find another like that, ladies and gentlemen. You're in online, 1,000. I got 1,500. I've got 2,000. I got 2,500 and £3,000. At 3,000 we start amongst my commission interest here. At 3,000's bid. At 3,000, just undo it one if we can. At 3,000 with me. I'll take 250 if they want to come in though. At £3,000. Thank you. 3,250 online. 3,250, 3,500. 3,500's back to me. At 3,005, would you like 750 for one more? 3,750, okay. £4,000. 250 for one more might do it online. At 4,000's with me on the book. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Coming in for the one more online. At 4,000's bid, 4,250. Thanking you very much. My commission interest is out. The bid is online. At 4,250 bid. At 4,250, 4,250. At 4,250. Would anyone like to go 4,500? At 4,250, 1999, the Rover 820 at 4,250 is bid. Anyone like to go again? Are we finishing done? 4,500, we're not done there. At 4,005, say 750 next. At 4,005, I'll tell you what, we haven't done it today. I'll go 4,600. We'll run in the hundreds, but make it nice and quick. At 4,005, 4,600 if you're coming in. At 4,000, 4,005. At 4,500, hammers up now. At 4,005, with the online bid here. At 4,500, 4,600. At 4,006, a Blackpool bidder this time. You're in now at 4,006. Take 4,700 if you're coming back in. We'll leave the hammer up. At 4,006, nearly chucked it all over the place then. At 4,006. At 4,006, coming in for 4,700. Last chance, online bidder. Would you like to go again? Once, twice, finished and done. And this time it sells at £4,600 in sold at 4,600. Thank you very much online. 4,600, and that's 4,773. 4,773. Thanking you. Moving on down the list we go to lot number 225, 1968, the Vandenpla. And what can you tell us about this, Steve?
As a young man with a head full of rip-snorting rally replicas, pocket rocket Porsches and flaming Lamborghinis, you can't even imagine a day when you're going to get all excited about a beige and brown saloon car. Well, that day has come for me, because just look at this absolutely magnificent piece of British automotive engineering. Famously, the only non-Rolls-Royce car to have a Rolls-Royce engine with 175 brake horsepower. This old girl's got a top speed of 112 miles an hour, which back in the mid-60s, it wasn't so shabby, was it? I'm not afraid to say that I think this might be my favourite car in the whole room. And again, I am not ashamed to say it. It's had a fantastic restoration. Look at the interior. Absolutely wonderful. You can keep your 300 horsepower road rocket missile motors. This is a bit of me. A 1968 Vandenpla 4-litre R in brown and beige. I bloody love it.
There we go. Love it indeed. And we're going to go straight in. I'm not going to mess around here. There's no point. Going to go straight in. 10, 11, 12, 12,500, £13,000. I'll take 13,500 next if anyone wants to come in. At 13,000 we start. At 13,000, 13,000. On the Van der Pla here at £13,000. At 13,000, 13,000. Would anyone like to come in now? At £13,000 is going to sell today, so make no mistake. At 13,000, 13,000. Take 500 if anyone wants to come in for one more. At 13,000 is the bid. At 13,000, 13,000. At £13,000. Take 5 now. At £13,000, are we finished and done? At 13,000, 13,000. At 13,000, 13,000. Say 5 again. At 13,000, are we finished and done? Would you like to bid for one more? At £13,000, the hammer is up. At £13,000, I'm going to sell today. Make no mistake. I'll tell you what, I'll take 13,250 if anyone makes it nice and quick, but I'm going to count it down. At £13,000, the bid is with me on the book once. 13,250, 13,5. 13,5 back to my commission interest now at 13,005. Say 750 for one more if you're coming back in. At 13,005. At 13,005, 13,750, thanking you, and £14,000. At 14,000, 14,000, take the 250 again if you wish to go again. At £14,000, the bid is against you online. It's still on the book with me. At 14,000, 14,000. At £14,000, I'm going to settle today. At 14,000 once. At 14,000 twice. Finished and done, and away it sells at £14,000. Sold it at £14,000. Thanking you very much. That's my commission interest bidder, 3038. That is that bid there. Thank you. Moving on to lot number 226. Lot number 226 in today's sale, 1969. It's the MGB-GT. Look at that one there. Lovely MGB-GT. This one is. I'm, again, not going to mess around. I'm going to open it straight up, straight in the market at £5,000. At £5,000. Starting at 5 if we can. At 5,000's bid. We're going to sell today. I'll take the 250 if anyone wants to come in. At £5,000. Take 250 if they want to bid, George. At £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. At 5,000, 250, 5 fives back to me. At 5,005. At 5,005. 5,750. 6,000's my bid, but 6,000 here. 6,000's bid. Take 250 anywhere else. George is in on the telephone and I'm out. At 6,250 we're a bid. Just knock it on one. At 6,250 on telephone. At 6,250. Would anyone like 6,5? At 6,250. Are we finished and done? I will sell to the telephone bidder. 6,5 seated. At 6,005. At 6,005. 6,750. At 6,750 we're bid. At 6,750 is bid. Would you like to go 7, sir? 7? 7's bid. At £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. 250 back to the phones. At 7,250's bid. At 7,250 is the bid now at 7,250. At 7,250, would you like to go again anywhere else? Are you sure? We're done and dusted then. Hammers up. It sells this time to the telephone bidder once, twice, finished and done. On George's telephone, and it's going to be sold at £7,250. Sold. Telephone. 7,250. Moving on down we go to lot number 227. Lot number 227, 1971. Another one of the Land Rovers in today's sale. It's the 90. It's in the green there. It's the earlier one, the 1991. And I'm going to go straight in at 6, 6.5, 7, £7,500 we start. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005. At 7,500 is bid. At 7,005. £8,000. 8,005. 8,005's bid. Say 9 if you're coming in now. At 8,005. At 8,000, 8,005 is bid. At 8,005, are we finished and done? 9's back in, thank you. New bidder this time, Liverpool bidder at £9,000, and I'm out. At 9,000, anyone else take me to 5? At 9,000 is bid. Find another Land Rover like this at just £9,000. Looks great in the British Army green as well. At 9,000 bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,005. at 9,005. Welcome to you in Thailand at 9,500 pounds. The bid is with you now at 9,005. It's going to sell today. We'll drop 10,000 pounds. At 10,000 pounds, we'll sell it today. Make no mistake, it's in the market now. It's going to sell at 10,000 pounds. Go 5 if you're coming back in. Thailand bidder, would you like to go again? At 10,000 pounds. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take a quarter if you make it nice and quick, but the hammer's up. Would you like 250 for one more, or anywhere else in the room like to come and have a go? It's going to sell, so make no mistake. At 10,000 pounds, the bid is online with you, Liverpool bidder. At 10,000, 10,000 once. At 10,000 twice. Hammer's up, and away it sells, this time and away at 10,000 pounds. Sold it at 10,000 pounds. Thanking you very much. Bidder number 1576. 1576. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 228. This time it's 2005. It's the Porsche Cayman S. This one's the Razor Sharp 3.4 litre flat 6 on this one. We're going to go straight in 4, 4.5 and 5,000 pounds we start. At just 5,000 pounds here. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. At 5,000 coming in for the 5.5. At 5,000 is the bid. At 5,000, 5,000 pounds. At 5,000, say 5.5 if anyone else wishes to come in now. Is that all we're going to see today? I'll tell you what, I'll take 250. I shouldn't need to. I really shouldn't need to. At 5,000 pounds, 250 if you're coming in. At 5,000, 5,000. 5,250. Thank you, online bidder. At 5,250, 5.5s back to me. At 5,005. At 5,000, 5,005. Say 750 again. 5,750. 6,000 pounds. One more online. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At 6,000 pounds is the bid now at 6. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Say 250 again if you're coming back in. At 6,000 on the book with me here then. At just 6,000 pounds. Are we sure? At 6,000, 6,000, or anyone else like to have a go? At 6,000 pounds. One more might do it online if you're coming back in, but at 6,000 I'm going to count you down. At 6,250, thanking you. I'm out and you're in. At 6,250 is with you at the minute in Northamptonshire. At 6,250 bid. At 6,250, 6,250. We'd like to see 6.5 if anyone else is coming in now. At 6,250, are we finished and done? Last chance in fair warning then. I'm going to submit the bid. 6.5 new bidder. Welcome to you this time in Guernsey. At 6,005, the bid is with you. At 6,005. At 6,005. Underbidder, would you like to go again? At 6,005. At 6,000, 6,005 is bid. Are we finished and done here at just 6,005? At 6,500, hammers up. I'm going to sell, so make no mistake. At 6,500 is bid. At 6,000, 6,500 once, twice, finished and done. And this time it sells at 6,500 with you in Guernsey. Sold at 6,500 pounds. Thank you very much to bidder number 11701. 11701. Moving on down, if I just put that one there for you, George. Moving on down we go to lot number 229, 2002, another one of the Bentley Arnages. This one's in the silver. Have a good look at this one. It's a very high specification on this one as well. I believe we've also got a telephone. There we go. Standing in. Where are we going to go? Starting off. I'll take it. Thank you very much. 8, 8.5, 9, 9,500 pounds. We start online straight away at 9,005. Thanking you to you in Essex at 9,005. I'd like to see 10 next if we can. At 9,005. At 9,000, 9,500 pounds is bid. At 9.5 is the bid. At 9,005. At 9.5 is bid. At 9,005. At 9,005. At 9,005 is the bid. 10,000. Telephone. Waiting for the telephones to come in. Telephone bidder now at £10,000. Thanking you on the phones. At £10,000. Say 5 if you're coming back in. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I'll tell you what. Hammers up. We're selling today, so make no mistake here. At 10,000, it's going to go on the phones. At 10,000, 10,000. Are we finished? Are we done? Would anyone else like to have a go now? Once, twice. Finished and done. I'm going to sell. At £10,000 it goes. Yours. Do we have a number there on that one? I'm just going to put telephone.
2005. I think. Just double check. Is it 10,000?
Right then, moving on to, I will have a look, all right. Moving on to lot number 230, in 1974, Jensen Interceptor. I love this one, and there's something about the interior on this one that just, I think is absolutely great. But over to you, Steve.
Well, let's start, shall we, with the greatest back window in the history of cars. I will accept no argument. But that's far from the only outstanding feature of this magnificent piece of hand-built gentleman's GT. This is automotive aristocracy from the early 70s, a Jensen. It's got a full-length sunroof. It's got sheepskin inserts in the interior. Rear seat belts came as standard. This was mind-boggling back in those days. And of course, what we have here is a car that lets everybody do what they're best at. Let us build it here in England, in these British Isles, because back then we were really good at hand-building cars. I think we still are. Let's get the Italians to decide what it should look like, because they're really good at that sort of thing. And I tell you what, under the bonnet, instead of something fiddly, why don't we just have a whacking great, massive Chrysler V8 engine up from 6.3 to 7.2 in this, the Mark III Jensen Interceptor. This car is absolutely lovely. You go a long way to find one as nice as this. Many celebrities enjoyed the Jensen Interceptor back in the day, but perhaps the person who bought more of them than anyone was Cliff Richard. But don't let that put you off, because you could really move it in this Jensen Interceptor.
There we go, the 1974, the Jensen Interceptor 3, 9.5s in online. I've gone 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and £15,000 I start. At 15,000's bid. At £15,000, little money here for a Jensen Interceptor at just 15,000. At 15,000's bid. 16's in online, 17's my bid. At £17,000. At 17,000, 17,000. 18's bid. 19 and £20,000 with me on the book. At 20,000, 21. 22's bid. At 22 now, with my commission interest here at 22. At 22, 22, 23, 24,000's bid. At 24 now, at £24,000. At 24, 24, lovely, lovely Jensen Interceptor this is. It's absolutely great indeed. 25's in. At 25,000, my commission interest is out now. At 25,000. At 25, 25, with the online bidder here. At 25,000, would anyone like to go 26? At 25,000's bid. Online at £25,000. At 25, 25, take 26 from anywhere else. Are we finished and done? Underbidder, you coming back for one more? 26 is in. At £26,000, it's all online now. At 26,000's bid. At 26, 26. 27's bid. At 27, 27. At 27, coming back in for 28 for one more. At 27,000's bid. At 27, 27. At 27,000, the bid is here online at 27. Would anyone like to go 28? At 27,000's bid. At 27, 27. Are we finished and done? Are you coming back in for one more? It's your last chance in fair warning, 28. Essex bidder, you're in at £28,000. At 28, 28. Anyone for 29? 29, new bidder this time in Devon. At £29,000. At 29,000's the bid. At 29, 29, coming back in for the 30 in Essex. Would you like to go again, underbidder? At 29,000, find another like this one at just 29,000's bid. At 29, 29, you coming back in for one more. It's now or never online. Are you coming back in? At 29,000, I'm going to start counting you down. The bid is here online with you in Devon still. At £29,000, the bid then once. 30's bid. At £30,000, back to Essex it is. At 30,000 now, Devon bidder, would you like to go again? 31, Devon says yes please. At 31, I'm not surprised. Lovely car it is at just £31,000. At 31, 31. At 31,000, coming back in for two now. At 31,000's bid. At 31, 31, are we finishing done? Are we sure? At £31,000 is bid 32. At 32, 32. At 32,32. At £32,000 is bid. I'll tell you what, I'll take 32.5 if you're thinking about it. There's a few of you still hovering, and we're going to sell today at £32,000, make no mistake. It's going to Essex at the minute. Would anyone else like to come in for another 500? At 32,000 is the bid. At 32.32, are we finished? Are we done? At £32,000, hammers up. At £32,000, the bid then once. At £32,000, the bid then twice. All sure, all done, and this time it sells, and off to Essex it goes at £32,000, finished and done. Sold at £32,000. Thank you very much, online bidder there. And you are bidder number 18671. 18671. Moving on down to lot number 231. I love this one here. It's a 1979. Great color for the 1979 Mercedes-Benz 280 SLC. The rare and striking color combination on this one looks absolutely great indeed. I'm going to go straight in at £3,500 and £4,000 we start. At £4,000. At 4,000, say 500 if you're coming in. 4,500, 4,500 and £5,000 is back to my commission interest. 5,500 if you're coming back in. 5,500. I'm out now, sir. You're in. At 5,500. 6,000's online. At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000. Would you like another one? At £6,000 is currently with you in Alton at the minute. At £6,000. At 6,000, I'll take the 250 if it helps you out. 6,250, thank you. At 6,250, gentleman's bid at 6,250. Say 6,500 for coming back in. At 6,250, 6,250. At 6,250, 6,500 if you wish to go again online. 6,500, yes please. New bidder again. Suffolk bidder this time at 6,500. At 6,000, 6,500. At 6,500 we're bid. 750 if you wish to take it on again. At 6,500, it's a lovely Mercedes-Benz it is. At 6,500, take the 250 if you're coming in now. At 6,500, are we finished and done then? With the Suffolk bidder at the minute, at 6,500 we're bid. At 6,000, 6,500. Take 750 if not. Are we finished and done? At 6,500 is the bid. At 6,000, 750 bidding, I see you. 6,750 at the back. At 6,750's bid. Online, would you like to go 7? There was a couple of you online. You coming back in underbidder. At 6,750 were bid. In the room with the gentleman at the back. At 6,750. I'm going to count it down. At 6,750, £7,000 Suffolk bidders back. At 7,000 bid. Would you like another 250, sir? 7,250, thank you. At 7,250, back to the room it goes. At 7,250, 7,250. At 7,250 online, you're hovering. Would you like to go again? At 7,250, 7,500. 7,500's bid. At 7,500. At 7,000, 7,500 is bid. I'll take the 750 if you're coming back in now. At 7,500 is the bid. With you online currently in Suffolk at the minute. At 7,500. Are you finished and done at the back? Would you like one more? At 7,500. At 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. I'll tell you what, it's on sale, and I'll take 7,600 if anyone else wants to come in. Hammers up. We'll go in the £100 if it helps you out. At 7,500, would you like 7,600? Are you finished and done? 7,600. 7,600 is back in the room at 7,006. At 7,600 is bid. Say 7,700 if you're coming back in online. It's going to sell today, so make no mistake. At £7,600, the hammer's up. I'm going to count you down online. Got to be fair to the gentleman in the room. 7,700's back in. At 7,007. Would you like to go 7,800? Shakes the head. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. At 7,700, the hammer's up once. The hammer's up twice. And it's selling. This time and away it goes. Online at £7,700. Sold at 7,007. Thanking you very much there. £7,700 online bidder 208 208 20. Thanking you. Moving on down the list we go. This time we're on to lot number 232. It's the 1973 Ford Mustang. It's the Mach 1. Look at this. Another stunning, lovely car in today's sale. Looks absolutely mean in that red and black. The American muscle here. Where are we going to go? On the Mustang, going to go straight in, 9, 10, 11, 12, £13,000. At £13,000 here for the Mustang then, at just 13,000, say 14 next. At 13,000's bid. At 13,500 and 14,000's back to me. £14,000. Say 500 again. At 14,500. 14,500 and 15,000's my bid here. At £15,000 on the book with me. At 15,000 go 5. 15,500's in. At 15,005 it's your bid in a minute in Northamptonshire and I'm out. Stallion bid in here at 15,005. At 15,500 and 16's bid. At 16,000, 16,000. On the Mustang Mach 1 at 16,005. At 16,500, 16,500. At 16,005 is bid. 17 if you're coming back in, 17 you do. Locally with you in Cheshire at the minute. At £17,000. At 17,000, 17,000. Say 500 if you're coming back in now. At just £17,000. And 5. Thanking you there. Northamptonshire, you've been in from the start. At 17,005 is your bid at the minute. At 17,500. At 17,500, 17,500. Would anyone else like to go 18 here? At £17,500 is bid. At 17,500, 17,500. At 17,500, 17,500. You coming in for the 18 now? Are we finished and done? Would you like to go again for one more? At 17,005. At 17,500, 17,500. 18, new bidder. Devon's in again. At £18,000. At 18,000, 18,000. Say 500 if you're coming back. Either Cheshire or Northamptonshire, I think, were the two underbidders. Would any of you like to go 18,500? At 18,000's bid. At 18,000, 18,000. Are we finishing done here? It's your last chance in fair warning, unless you're coming back in now. At £18,000, 5. 18,500, Northamptonshire, you're back. At 18,005. At 18,500, 18,500. Say 19 if you're coming back in now. At 18,005. Devon, would you like to go again? At 18,005. At 18,500, 18,500. At 18,500, are we finished? Are we done? We'll submit the bid to the vendor today, so make no mistake. At 18,500, the bid is here online. At 18,500. 18,500 then once. At 18,500 then twice. All finished and done at £18,500. That's provisionally with you online at £18,500 there for the Mustang Mach 1. And 664 was the buyer number, 664, early day bidder again, thanking you. Moving on down the list we go to lot number 233, 2007. It's the Audi TT, it's the 3.2 Quattro here. It's a lovely, well-maintained TT, this one is. Where are we going to go on this one? Someone start me off at £3,000. Little money this is for a TT, just £3,000 to kick it off today. Three's bid online, thank you. At £3,000, we'll run in the quarters on this one. We'll go 250 next. At 3,000's bid. Nothing on my book on this one, but online's in. 3,250 now. Warwickshire bidder at 3,253.5. At 3,005. 3,750. It's all over the place. Suffolk's in at 3,750. £4,000. Thank you there. Cheshire bidder now at £4,000. I think there's about 4 or 5 of you on it at the minute. At 4,000's bid. At 4,250's bid. At 4,250 with our Suffolk bidder now at 4,250 and 4,500. At 4,005. At 4,500, 4,500, 4,500. At 4,005. I'll tell you what, we'll go 4,600. We'll run in the hundreds now. At 4,005. Would you like to go 4,600 anywhere? At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. The bid is online. Are we all done and dusted then? At 4,005. Surely not. At 4,000, 4,005. Last chance in fair warning then online. At £4,500. We will submit the bid today. At 4,000, 4,005. Are we finished? Are we done? We'll count it down. It's your last chance in fair warning. The bidding is here at 4,500 once. At 4,500 twice. Finishing done then at £4,500. Provisionally online with you there at 4,500. Moving down, we go to lot number 234. 234 is the E-Type, the 1969 Jaguar E-Type. It's the 4.2 coupe there. I think it's the one over there at the front, the only one in today's sale. Lovely, lovely E-Type this is. Looks absolutely great, and I'm going to go straight in at £20,000. I'd like to see 21 next if we can. At 20,000's bid. At 20,000, 20,000. At 20,000, would you like to go one? At £20,000, we start here with me at just 20,000 here. At 21, 21, 22, 22,000's bid. At 22.22, coming back in for 23. At 22,000 is the bid now at 22. At 22.22. At £22,000 here, just the E-Type. Little money this is, at just £22,000, the 4.2 coupe. At 23. I'm going to go 24 and 25 with me. At 25, I'd like to see 26 next if we can. At 25 on the book with me now. At £25,000 we are bid. 26. You're in now online and I'm out. At just 26,000's bid. At 26.26. At 26,000 is the bid now at 26. Are we finishing done? At 26,000, I'd like to see 27 if anyone else is coming in. We will submit the bid, so make no mistake. At just £26,000. At 26.26, are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning now. I'm going to submit the bid at £26,000. That is very provisionally with you online. 10.47. That is a provisional bid there at £26,000. We'll be in touch online and tell you where you need to be on that one. Moving on to lot number 235. Lot number 235, Aston Martin DB7. It's the DB7 Vantage in the Antrim blue as well. Look at that one there. Lovely one again. We've had some lovely DB7s in today's sale. I'm going to go straight in at £8.5 and £9,000. Say 9.5 if anyone wants to come in. Lovely little Aston this is at just £9,000. Say 5 if you wish to go again. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. At £9,000 is bid. Would anyone like to go 5? At 9,005. At 9,005, your bid West Yorkshire now. At 9,005, my interest is out already. At 9,500, we're in with West Yorkshire bidder in 10. At 10,000 now, Cheshire bidder, you're back. At £10,000, thank you for your bidding here. At 10,000, 10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, we are bid. Would you like to go 5 again anywhere else? At £10,000 in 5. At 10,5's bid. West Yorkshire, you're back in now at 10,005. At 10,5, 10,5, 10,5. At 10,500 is a bid. At 10,005. I'll tell you what, I'll take 10,750 if any of the underbidders want to come in. And I'll tell you what, it's on sale at 10,005. Hammers up, 10,750's bid. At £10,750 is the bid now at 10,750. Coming in for 11 underbidder. Hammers up now. Shouldn't need to think here. 11's bid. West Yorkshire thanking you. £11,000. 250 if you're coming back in. 11,000, 11,000. £11,000 is the bid. Are we finishing done? Hammers up. I'm going to sell. £11,000. 250 back in. 11,250. 11,250 is the bid. Cheshire bidder, you are back. £11,250. Go 11.5 if you wish to go again. 11.5, thanking you. The DB7 Vantage here at just 11,500. What little money for an Aston Martin, but it's going to be sold, so make no mistake. At 11,005. At 11.5, 11.5. At 11,500 we're bid. Are we finishing done? Hammers up then, and it sells at 11,500 once, twice, finishing done. 11,500. We're all out and done at 11,005. Sold to West Yorkshire for £11,500 to bidder number 10964. 10964. Thanking you. Moving on to lot number 236. Lot number 236 is probably my favourite car in today's sale. There's just something very special about it. It's the 1997. It's the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution, a rare JDM homologation special as well. Look at that. 4 4x4s and monstrous machines that we've had in today's. It's definitely one of my favourite. Love it indeed. I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to mess around here. I'm going to go 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5, £13,000. I start with my commission interest here. That's just amongst my commission bidders at £13,000. At 13,000, say 5, 13.5, 14,000 back to me. At £14,000. At 14,005 and 15's my bid here. At £15,000. At 15,015. 15.5, Lincolnshire bidder, but I got 16 back to my commission interest at £16,000. Would you like one more online? At 16.5 and £17,000 is my commission bid. One more 17.5. 17.5, you are in and I'm out. Thanking you, online bidder. Your bid now in Lincolnshire at 17,005. At 17.5, 17.5. At 17,500 a bid. I'll take 750s now. We'll go to the quarter bites if it helps anyone in. At 17,500. Would anyone else like to have a go on this one? The Pajero Evolution. Find another that looks as good as this one. At just 17,500 the bid then once. At 17,500 the bid is online then twice. Hammers up, and away it sells in 17,750. You couldn't let it go in Alton, could you? At 17,750 sneaking in. £18,000 now. At 18,000, 18,000. Would you like another quarter bite? At £18,000 is going to be sold, so make no mistake. At £18,000. At 18,000, 18,000. Hammers up and away it goes. At £18,000. 18,250. Thanking you. Evolution there. 18,250. Here we go. 18,500. At 18,500, 18,500. At 18,500, would you like to go 750 for one more? Make it nice and quick. The car deserves it. At 18,500. Hammers up. At 18,500. Are we finished and done? 18,750 there. At 18,750 is bid. Would you like to go 19 underbidder? 19 you do. Thanking you. At £19,000 is bid. At 19,000, 19,000. So we're staying in the quarters. If not, hammers up and away it sells. At £19,000. At 19,000, 19,000. Are we finished? Are we done? 19,250. We're not done there. At 19 and a quarter's bid. At 19,250. Come on, would you like to go again? At 19,250, 19,500. Yes, please, they say. Lincolnshire's back in now. At 19,500. At 19,500, 19,500. Coming in again. At 19,500. Are we finished and done? At 19,500. I'm going to count it down. Hammers up for the first time here at 19,500. For the second time, 19,750 back in. Thank you, Alton bidder. At the 19,750 is your bid now. At 19,750. Give me a nice round number. Would we like to see £20,000 coming back in? At 19,750. Make no mistake, if we're finished and done here, it's going to sell. At 19,750. Hammers up once. At 19,750. Twice. All finished and done then. Last chance, fair warning, at £19,750. It's hammer time then at 19,750. Sold at £19,750. Thanking you there, 20576. 20576. And thank you, George. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, they operate on the provisionals here. The Jaguar XJS has now sold away at £5,500. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we say about the provisional bids, when you go over to the sales desk, this is what happens. The cars come back, they get sold through, so don't be in front. If you're not in front of the queue, you don't get to be in the start of the conversation there. So it's always a conversation that starts. It always helps the car get sold, and that's the first one we've had today. So there we go. Lot number 237, 1979, the Jaguar XJ6, the 4.2, another lovely Jaguar in today's sale. Look at this one here. I'm going to go straight in. I've got just £2,000, so I'm going to start it with my commission interest here at 2,000. I'll say 2,500 if anyone wants to come in. 2,500, £3,000. Go 5 for one more. It might do it. At 3,000 with me. 3,500's in online, and I'm out now at 3,005. At 3,005, Suffolk bidder there at 3,005. At 3,500 and 4. At £4,000, go 5 for one more. At 4,000, 4,000 with the online bid. At £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Are we finished and done at just £4,000 with the online bidder here at 4,000? I'll tell you what, I'll take 4,250. Who wants a call to bid? At £4,000. 4,250 you do online. Thank you, Suffolk. At 4,250 we are bid. At 4,250, 4,250. Take 4,500 if anyone's coming in. At 4,250 with the Suffolk bidder now. And on sale at £4,250. Make no mistake, take 4,500 if anyone else is coming in, but I'm going to sell this one at 4,250 if not. What a bargain this is going to be. Make no mistake, last chance, fair warning. Finished and done at £4,250 with the online bidder. It's going to go. Sold at 4,250. And that was to bidder number 16835, 16835. Thank you very much there online. Moving on to lot number 238. Lot number 238 this time. Have a good look here. It is the 2011, the MEK or the MEK SS2 is a nice little kit car. It's been built very well, this one. Great little one. I got 2.5, 3,500 pounds on my book at 3,005. Say 4 if you're coming in for the MEK here. At 3,500 we start. At 3,005. At 3,005, 4. At 4,005's back to me. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. Coming in for the 5,000 now. At 4,005, we are bid. At 4,000, 4,005. At 4,500, are we finishing done? At 4,005. 5's bid. 5,000 pounds. You're in online and I'm out. At 5,000 pounds. I'll take the 250s from this point. Would you like the quarter bites? At 5,000 pounds. 250 for one more. At 5,000, 5,000. Would anyone like to come in for another go on this one? Here, at just 5,000 pounds on the MEK or the MEC. At 5,000, 5,000. Finishing done. Last chance, fair warning. I'm going to submit the bid with the online bidder here at just 5,000 pounds. Make no mistake, if we're finishing done once, twice, finishing done, 5,000 pounds. That's provisional with you online. 5,000 pounds and you're 1096. 5,000, that is a provisional bid. Moving down we go to lot number 239. I think it's the last one of the Astons in today's sales. The earlier one, the newer one, 2004 Aston Martin DB9 this time. Lovely little DB9 there. Great, great car this is. I believe we might have a telephone bidder on. I think George is just connecting now. We're in straight away with your commission bid there online at 7. I got 7.5. At 7,005. 8,000's back in. 8.5's my bid. At 8,005. 9,000 pounds. 9.5 with me. At 9,005 and 10's back in online. At 10,000, 10,005. At 10,005 and 11,000 pounds. You're in online there at 11,000 pounds and I'm out now. 11,000's bid. We're online here at 11,000, 11,000. 11,000 pounds. 11.5. Thank you. I see you, sir. 11,005. Coming back in online. 12. 12,000's bid. We're in the market now. At 12,000 pounds is going to sell today. Would anyone like to go 12.5? It's a DB9, ladies and gentlemen, at just 12,000 pounds. I'll take 500 if anyone else wishes to come back in for one more. At 12,000, 12,000, 12,000. At 12,000 pounds is the bid now at 12. Are we finishing done? At just 12,000 pounds, I will sell it today. 12.5's bid. New bidders in. At 12,005, welcome to you. At 12,005 is your bid. At 12,005, coming back in for the 13. At 12,000, 12,005, are we finishing done? 13 bid. At 13,000, 13,000. At 13,000 pounds. At 13,000, 13,000. Take 5 if you're coming back in now. I'll tell you what, we'll go in 250s. We'll go for the quarters, but make it nice and quick. Would you like a small one? If not, it's selling today at 13,000 pounds. At 13,000, 13,000 once, twice, hammers up. And away it goes at 13,000 pounds. If we're all sure and done at 13,000, 250's in. At 13,250. Welcome to you locally at 13,000. Locally to me is my neck of the woods. With you in Midsummer Norton at 13,250. Welcome. At 13,250, 13,250. At 13,250 is your bid online. At 13,250 pounds is the bid. Are we finished and done? I'm going to sell it. Make no mistake. Last chance. Fair warning. Hammers up. Once, twice. Finished and done and away it sells at 13,250. Sold at 13,250. Thank you. And your bidder number, oh, I know who that is. 20670. Moving on to lot number 240 and cool cars and cool 4x4s. 1982 Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. And over to you, Steve.
Tom, people often ask me, what's the worst car you've ever driven? And my reply is this, a Mercedes G-Wagon. But not one like this one, oh no, sir. One of the new ones. The one that I drove had a price that ran into the price of a house, had a V12 engine. It was noisy, it was uncomfortable, the ride was ridiculous. Mercedes, you've ruined the G-Wagon. You've ruined a fantastic car. Look how great it was. 1982 Orchid Green G-Wagon with the legendary Mercedes diesel engine. Brown velour interior, because that's the way they rolled. back in 1982. But I ask you, when's the last time you saw one of these in anything like this condition? Because I had a G-Wagon, I had a 280, it had the tweed seats, and it was as rotten as any Italian sports car has ever been in the history of motoring. Here is a rare survivor in unbelievable condition. Time warp condition, and look how great the G-Wagon was. Steel wheels, that diesel engine under there, this fantastic boxy space. The other thing you realise about this is just how much room there is inside. They're absolutely cavernous inside these old G-Wagons. So, a unique survivor, a great car, and very much not, absolutely not, the worst car I've ever driven.
Well, I've actually got nothing on my book at all on this one, but online went in at 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, and 11,000 in 12. At 12,000, it's running off online, 13's bid. At 13,000, 13 and 14,000 pounds with the online bids here. At 14,000, 14,000. At 14,000 pounds is bid. At 14,000, I'll tell you what, we'll go 15's bid. 15, we'll go 500s now.
15.
I've got 15 already, I'll take 15.5. 15.5 with George on the telephone. At 15,005, say 16 anywhere else or online if you're coming back in. George's telephone at the minute at 15,005. At 15.5, 15.5. At 15,005, would anyone like to go 16 now? Are we finishing done online? You coming back in for one more? You've come this far. At 15,005. At 15.5, 15.5. On the phone it's going to go. At 15,005. If we're sure and done then online, it's your last chance in fair warning this time. I'm going to count you down. At 15,500 once, 16's back in on the phones. Online. Against you on the phones. Online bid. 16.5 back to George's telephone. Thank you there on the phones. At 16,005 is bid. Just on George's phone at 16.5. At 16,005. Online, you need to go 17. At 16,005 is bid. At 16,000, 16,005. Are we finishing done online? Would you like to come in for one more? If you're thinking about it, it's now or never. At 16,005. Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to count it down then. At 16,500 on the telephone with George. At 16,500 once, twice. Finished and done then at 16,500. That's with you on the telephone, George, at 16.5 is provisional.
16.5, 2004, please.
No worries. 2004 telephone.
We'll go to the vendor and see, not me, but we'll go to the vendor and see.
Right, moving on to lot number 241. Lot number 241 is the Volkswagen Beetle. It's the jeans, the bright yellow with the denim interior. Cool little Beetle, this one is. Great little machine. You're in at, I was in at 3, 3.5. You've gone to 4,000 in Ireland. 4,000's bid. I'll take 4.5 anywhere else. Cool little Beetle, this is at just £4,000 with you in Ireland. At 4,000, 4,000. At £4,000. Anyone got the 500 to come in? At £4,000 is bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take quarters if it helps you out. At £4,000, I will get the bid submitted to the vendor today, so make no mistake. 4,250, thank you there, Cheshire bidder. At 4,250 is bid. Say 4,500 if you're coming back in. At 4,250 is bid. At 4,250, 4,250. At 4,250 we're bid. Would anyone like to go 4,500? 4,500 you do. Thank you there. Ireland, you're back. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005. At 4,500 is bid. At 4,000, 4,005. At 4,005, I'll take 4,700. I'll tell you what, we'll go 4,600. If anyone else wants the small bites, we'll go in hundreds. At 4,005, make it nice and quick there. We've got to be fair to the bidder in Ireland. At 4,005, would anyone like to go 4,600? At 4,000, 4,005, are we finishing done then? Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to submit the bid to the vendor at 4,005, once, twice. Finishing done at £4,500. We'll submit that bid there online, 4,005. That is a provisional sale, and it's to 20815, 20815. Moving on to lot number 242. Lot number 242, 1960 is the Austin 7 Mini, this one. Nice little Mini this is. I'm going to go straight in 5, 6, 7, and £8,000 we start. 8's bid. At 8,000 now. Say 8.5 if anyone's coming in. We'll run in the 500s on this one. At 8,000 pounds, we start here with me. At 8,000 pounds. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. 8.5. At 8,005. Say 9 if you're coming in now. At 8,005. 9's bid. At 9,000 pounds. Say 5 for one more. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. At 9,000 pounds. At 9,005. And 10's bid. At 10,000 pounds. At 10,000, 10,000 just needs to go on one. At 10,000 pounds there. Thanking you. At 10,000 pounds. At 10,000, 10,000, say 500 if you're coming back in, if we're finished and done. At 10,000 pounds. At 10,000, 10,000. Last chance in fair warning this time and away then. At 10,000 pounds if we're finished and done. Once, twice, finished and done at 10,000 pounds. That's provisionally at 10,000 pounds to 811, 10,000 pounds. That is a provisional sale there. Moving on to lot number 243. Lot number 243. Have a good look here, ladies and gentlemen. 1990 Ford Escort. It's the van. It's the 1.3 van. I can remember when every street when I was growing up used to have one or two of these on it. Don't see them about anymore. There you go. Start me off on this one. The Ford Escort van then. Start me off. Who's got £3,000 to go? 3,000 to start, surely. Anyone interested here? Nice little Escort van. 3,000. I'll go to 2,000 to kick it off today. Nothing on my book. Someone needs to start me off. 2,000 to start. Ford Escort 1.3 van here. £2,000 surely. Kick it off today at just £2,000. Thank you online. You're in. I'll go in hundreds on this one. We'll go to the nearest hundred. We'll see where it gets to. At £2,000. Got to be fair to the bidder that's opened it up here. I'll take 2-1 if anyone's nice and quick. At £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Are we finished and done? It's with the online bidder here at just £2,000. I'll count it down then. At £2,000 is bid with you online. Once, twice. Finished and done at just £2,000. That's provisionally with you online at £2,000 and you are 10.56. £2,000 provisional. Moving on to lot number 244, 1994. It's the Audi. It's the S2 Coupe. I love this Audi. It looks great indeed. It's come from long-term ownership as well from an enthusiast. Rare 6-speed manual transmission on this one. I'm straight in at 5, 6, 7, and 8,000 pounds. It starts with me here on the book at 8,000. Say 8.5 if anyone wishes to bid. At 8,000 pounds. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. Lovely Audi S2 Coupe here at just £8,000. Coming in for the 5. 8.5. 9's bid. At £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000. Say 5 again. At £9,000 is the bid now at 9. Online bidder, would you like to go 9.5? At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. 9.5's in. And I'm out now at 9,500 with the online bidder here. At 9,005. At 9,000, 9,005 is bid. I'll take 750 if anyone else wants to come in. Would anyone like a call to buy? If not, I'll submit the bid to the vendor today at 9,005 with you online. At 9.5, 9.5, 9.5. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning this time and away then at 9,500. Once, twice. Online bid here at 9,005. That's your bid online at £9,500. Provisionally with you 1040. Moving on to lot number 245. Lot number 245 here. We said in the video that this was built by a company in Nottingham. It's actually been factory built and done by Alpina in Germany. Is that right, Damo? There we go. It's actually been done by Alpina themselves in Germany, this one. It's the 2000 BMW B3 3.3 factory-built example. Rare German coupe this is. And my bidding is quite decent on this one. You're in at 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9,005 and £10,000 we start. I'll say 10.5 next. It's in the market straight away at £10,000. Would anyone like to go 10.5? Lovely little Alpina here at 10,000, 10,000. Say 500 if anyone's coming in. Find another looking as good as this one at just £10,000. At 10,000, 10,000. I'll take 500 if anyone's going to bid. At 10,005. Thank you there in Essex, your bid, but I've got £11,000 back with me on the book. 11,000's bid here. 11,000, 11,000. Say 500 again in Essex if you wish to come back in. At 11,000 is bid. 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000 we're bid now. 11,000. Are we finishing done at just 11,000 with my book bidder here is going to sell today at £11,000. The hammer is up. At 11,000, 11,000. Are we finishing done? I'm going to sell once, twice. 11,500. Essex bidder, you'll be glad to know my commission bid is over. You're in. 11,500. 11,000, 11,500 is bid. Say 12 if you're coming back in now anywhere else. At 11,500. At 11,500, are we finishing done? Hammers up once. Hammers up twice. And selling at £11,500. Sold at £11,500. Thank you very much there. Online bidder 6881, 6881. Moving on down we go. Just before we do, we're getting some updates coming in. We're going to go reverse order. Bikes yesterday. Here we go. Some updates coming in from the bikes, ladies and gentlemen. Those people that left those provisional bids yesterday, they're slowly pulling through. The Rally Chopper sold away now. The Suzuki GSX-R 750 is now sold away. The Suzuki GSX 1300R is now sold away, and the Benelli SE 1750 has now sold. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do at Manor Park Classics. We get your vehicles sold, we get them gone, and that is a proven example of it there. But let's move on to lot number 246. I absolutely adore this. It's the 1950. It's the Foden S20 drop side. The paintwork on it and how it looks absolutely great. What a great machine this was back in the day, and what a great machine it still is now. Let's go straight in at £5,500 and £6,000 here for the Foden. At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000. Coming in for 500s if you will. It's a lovely truck indeed. At just £6,000 is very little money. At 6,500. Thank you online, but I got £7,000 back to me. At £7,000. Say 500 if anyone's coming in. At 7,000, 7,000. What a great promotional piece this could be as well. At 7,005, you're in online and I'm out. At 7,005, take it to 8 if anyone else wishes to bid. At 7,005. At 7,575 on the Foden S20 drop side here at just 7,005. At 7,575, would anyone else like to come in and have a go on this one here at just £7,500? Are we sure and done? At 7,005. I'll tell you what, I'll take the quarter. Would you like 7,750? At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005. If we're finished and done, that's it. Last chance, fair warning there. 7,500 with the online bid here. I'm going to submit the bid to the vendor at 7,500 once, twice. Finished and done at £7,500. Provisionally with you online there at 7,500 to 1063 provisional. Moving on to lot number 247 is up next. Lot number 247. 1968, it's the Jaguar 240 here. Where are we going to go on this one? Start me off somewhere. I'm going to go straight in at just £3,500 and £4,000. At 4,000 we start. At 4,000, 4,000. 4,500, thank you. 5,000's bid. £5,000. I'm out now at 5,000 with you online. At £5,000 is bid. At 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 with the online bidder here at £5,000. 5,500, thank you, sir. 5,005. Say 6,000 if you're coming back in now online. Gentleman's bid seated here at the front at 5,005. At 5,000, 5,005. Are we finishing done online? It's your last chance in fair warning if you're coming back in this now or never. At 5,500, I'm going to count it down, make no mistake. At 5,005 and 6,000, thank you online, you're back. At 6,005. Gentleman's bid at £6,500. At 6,500's bid. At 6,005, take it to 7 if you're coming back in. At just 6,500, are we finished and done online? I'll tell you what, I'll take the quarters now. We're nearly there, nitty-gritty time. At 6,005. At 6,500, we're bid. Gentleman's bid. At 6,500, I'm going to count it down then. If we're finished and done, 6,750, not yet. Would you like 7, sir? 7,000, thank you. At £7,000, take 250 for one more. At 7,000, 7,000, are we finished and done online? You coming back in again? At £7,000 is bid. Are we finished and done? Last chance, fair warning. We're going to count it down then at just £7,000, unless you're coming back in now online. Once, hammers up twice, and selling at £7,000. Your bid, sir. Thank you very much. £7,000 to, what was your paddle number? 794, thank you. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 248 is the 2019. I don't know if anyone's seen this parked up out in the front, but it looks absolutely great. It looks in great condition. It's got a few little marks on it, but nothing major. I don't think it's been done many mileage at all, showing only 1,335 miles on the Alfa Romeo Giulia Super 2.2 TD as well. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I got long bids on my book. You're in there. Just go 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, £7,000. I'd like to see 7.5 next if we can. 7.5, that clears my book, and you're in at the front, sir. Thank you. At 7,005, 8,000's in online. 8.5's bid. 8,005, 9 if you're coming back in now online. 9,000 they do. At 9,000, I'll run in the quarters if it's easier for you, sir. Would you like 250? At £9,000, 9,250, thank you. At 9,250's bid. Make it 9.5 if you're coming back in online. At £9,250 is the bid now at 9,250. Are we finished and done? At 9,250 with a gentleman down the front then, hammers up. At 9,250, 9.5's in. Stockport bidder this time at 9.5. At 9,005, take the 750 if you're coming back in, 9,750. Thank you very much there, sir. At 9,750, gentleman's bid in the middle of the room. At 9,750, 9,750. Coming back in for the 10 online. Last chance in fair warning, or anyone else like to have a go. Hammers up, £10,000. Berkshire bidder now at £10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Would you like another 250? At £10,000. Last chance in fair warning, this time in away then, at £10,000. 250, 10,250. Thank you again, sir. At 10,250, online bidder. Would you like to come in for one more? At £10,250, once, twice. Finished and done. Hammers up. 10.5's back in. Sorry, sir. At 10,005. At 10.5, 10.5, 10.5. At £10,500 is bid. At 10,005. Only showing less than 2,000 miles on the clock. At 10,500. Hammers up. Once. At £10,500 the bid, then twice. Finishing done. I'm going to sell. This time in a way it goes online at £10,500. Sold at £10,500. Thank you very much, online bidder. And also thank you very much to the underbidder there. Much appreciated. 20737. Moving on to lot number 249. Lot number 249, 1971. It's the Rover P6, ladies and gentlemen. It's the P6 3500 V8 powered executive saloon. I got commission bids on my book. I'm not going to mess around. You got 3. I got 3.5. I got 4. 4.5. £5,000 we start. At £5,000 is bid. At 5,000, 5,000. Coming in for 5.5 here. Lovely Rover this is. At £5,000, 5.5. 6,000, 6.5's bid. At 6,005. At 6,000, 6,005, make it 7 if you're coming in. I tell you what, make it another 250. Would anyone like the quarter? At £6,500, it is going to sell today, so make no mistake. At 6,005. Would anyone like 6,750? If not, hammers up and away it goes. At 6,500, all finished and done. Last chance, fair warning. Once, twice, and selling now at 6,500 on the book with me at 6,005. £6,500. Sold your way, 3027. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a quick 5 to 10 minutes break. I'm going to go over to Steve Berry to talk you through the next couple of cars coming up, I believe. Oh, he's outside.
Can you hear me, mother? It's so sunny out here that I can't see if the red light is blinking on my little microphone because of that strange orange light in the sky. Let's hope it stays there for a good while. Now, while Tom takes his comfort break, what I thought I'd do is give you a kind of insight into why the kind of cars that end up at Manor Park end up at Manor Park. We're trying to offer not just quality, but also variety. Something for everybody, if you will. So I thought I'd run through some of the cars that are outside here to tell you where our thinking comes from. Now, you might not expect to find a car like this Rover 820 Vitesse in a classic car auction alongside some of the greatest marques in the history of motoring. But let me tell you what an alternative to this might be. Don't laugh. I'm going to say a Bentley. So I'm going to say that what this represents is perhaps the same qualities that you would find in a much, much more expensive car with a flying B on the front of it. It's British, it's rare, it offers performance, but it also offers comfort. It's got that uniquely British style. It's British racing green, for goodness sake. And so you're getting the same kind of qualities that you would find in much more expensive cars from people like Rolls-Royce, Bentley, even Jaguar. And in a way, the thing that makes this car stand out is it's rarer. Because it wasn't exactly a raging success at the time, it was an expensive car when it was new. But because it wasn't a success at the time, let's face it, Rovo were on their last legs. I actually rate them. I think they're fantastic. You may be pulling a face at this point saying, how can Berry stand there and compare that thing to a Bentley? Well, I can. It offers grace, it offers space, it offers comfort, it offers style. Maybe not as much style as a Bentley, but or a Jaguar, but it does offer that. And it also offers exclusivity. And so when we're offered cars like this, we say yes because it gives us something different, something. We can get Bentleys, we can get them, and we do have them in our sale, and we love to have them in our sale. They're fabulous cars, but not everybody can afford them, but you might be able to afford one of these. Walk this way, please, Mr. P, because I want to now move on to the Rover 3500 with the Buick-derived V8 engine, the engine that did so much good work in so many British cars down the decades, but initially appeared in this car. And I'm feeling a little bit emotional. I often feel emotional when I'm here. Stop showing the people that red one, Felipe. We're on this one, the white one. The white one, mate. Because, I'll tell you why. About a year ago, I found the original Earl's Court show car, P5B. The one that was on a revolving stand in the black and white newsreels. And here at Earl's Court, Rover have a V8 engine super saloon. I found the actual car. It was in Bury, Lancashire, surprise, surprise. It had been behind a dentist surgery in Altrincham for about 20 years. It was going on a popular internet auction site very affordably. However, as soon as I expressed an interest by calling the vendor, he started to do his homework. And he called me back. He said, hey, you'll never guess what I've just found out. This car's the original Earl's Court show car. The bidding went a bit crazy. But what a car in its time. The styling, the design, the construction of this car, the way it was put together. Revolutionary. Rover weren't a marque that were afraid to do things differently. Again, it's that British thing from this period. Its performance. This was a quick car in its time. 3.5 litre V8 engine. But it's not an out-and-out sports car, of course. It's a bit of a gentleman's express. So I'm going to say Jensen, Bristol. I won't use another B word. I won't say Bentley AM. But what I'm saying is this innovative car from the mid-60s, is this an example of, you know, if you've always dreamed of owning, and I have, a Bristol. I think they're absolutely magnificent cars, but I can't afford one. But I might be able to afford one of those. And in a lot of ways, in the way that it was put together, bold styling, innovative construction and manufacturing techniques used to put that car together, it was a real hit at the times. You're getting a lot of the same qualities that you might be getting from a much more expensive car. Continuing that theme, if we can, let's look at the E28 in hearing aid beige. When was the last time you saw one of these in this horrible flat colour with those plastic hubcaps and these non-body coloured mirrors? Now, I had one of these. This is a 520 with an automatic gearbox, so no ball of fire. I've had 4 E28s. They were fantastic cars. Every time I drive one, I think back to when they were new, and I think, what was there from any manufacturer that offered what BMW did with the E28? And yet, it was the start, I think, and this is why they're significant, of BMW's idea that they could make a car for everybody. Because before this, BMW were a maker of luxury cars. Once they'd abandoned the three-wheel Assetto back in the 60s, they continued on a policy of sports and luxury cars. But here with the E28, and particularly with this model, flat paint, not metallic. Have we got fog lamps? I don't think we have. Plastic hubcaps, non-body coloured mirrors. Don't think I'm knocking this car. I'm not. It was still made to the same standard as every other car in the BMW range, which back then in I'm going to say 82. It is 82. I got it right for once. In 82, the build quality of a BMW, was there anybody else, possibly Mercedes, that would manufacture a car to a higher standard? And I mean all the cars. I don't just mean luxury cars that nobody could afford. I mean every car in the range. So again, what I'm going to say is a version of, a smaller, more affordable version of much more expensive cars. In this case, though, I'm not saying another mark. I'm saying here you are, 520i, cloth interior, plastic hubcaps, non-body colour mirrors, all that sort of stuff. An affordable way into owning a BMW of this era, because most of the BMWs we see that are 40 years old, like this one, are a lot of money. And there's a reason for that, because they're amazing cars. This is slightly less amazing, but in great condition. So few of these, all the good ones had a much better chance. The expensive ones, the high-performance ones, the sports cars, they have a much better chance of surviving the years, don't they? Because people want to look after them. People want to spend money on them. A car like that, people didn't really want to spend money. They just wanted to drive it. They wanted the motoring to be as cheap as possible. It's a rare survivor. Look at that. Instead of looking at performance figures on a sheet of paper, or the size of the engine, or the size of the wheels, or brake rotors, or whatever, look at instead the rarity, how unusual that car is. Value that instead, and all of a sudden, it seems like a mega bargain. Now, was this the best hot hatch of the 1980s? The answer is yes. It's a Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9. The Renault 5 Turbo, the Cosworth-powered Escorts that we sometimes have here for sale at Manor Park. Other French cars with a V6 engine in the middle there. A lot more money than this one. Looking at it now, it's hard to believe how desirable, how stealable they were, weren't they? My pal John Myers had one of these. He worked just down the road in Warrington. It was his company car. We used to go to a very famous Warrington nightclub called Mr. Smith's in his Peugeot 205 GTI. Red seat belts, very important, the red seat belts. And let me tell you something, it really made an impression. It did, didn't it? Because it gave us the performance and the style and just the driver engagement. I remember these as being a very engaging car to drive. They felt like they were going fast. By modern standards, they weren't. But they felt like they were going fast. And I tell you what, if it feels like it, what's the difference between something feeling fast and something actually being fast? If something's really fast and you can't tell you're going fast, what's the point? Unless you're in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, something like this, I'm going to say, is a more affordable, more practical, get this, more sensible alternative to cars from this era with four-wheel drive, 2-3 times the horsepower and a much bigger price tag. This is honest, affordable fun with style. From a manufacturer, Peugeot, it's not really a prestige name, is it? But that's maybe why these fantastic little cars are so incredibly affordable for what they are. Let me just see how much this one's going for. 12 to 14,000 pounds. The best hot hatch of the 80s. That's the estimate on it. Now, I'm not sure what claims I can make for this Ford Cortina. When I got married in 1991, I inherited one of these, but it wasn't. I think this is a 2.3 gear. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's a 2.3 gear. It was a 1.6L, the Cortina, this generation, this 3-box. And when I think back, I don't know how we did it. I drove the length and breadth of the United Kingdom as a freelance photographer. Thousands and thousands of miles in one of these, and it was falling apart. But do you know what it never did? It never stopped rolling. It just kept going, and I earned a living in a Ford Cortina, like so many people, like so many reps who thund up and down the highways and byways. It's had a hard life, this one, but the reason it's not been restored is because it was a TV car. So it was meant to sit on the street, in a car park, outside an office, or people were outside smoking and having an argument. It's been in Boone, it's been in Peak Practice, it's been in all sorts of TV programmes, but now maybe it's time for somebody to give it a little bit of TLC. Remember when these were everywhere? I do. They'll never be everywhere again, but there could very much be one in your life right now because it's time to get this thing bought.
Right, come on then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it bought then. Let's go 1979, the Ford Cortina, then we're going to go straight in. I'm in at 2, 2.5, 3. 3.5, £4,000 we start. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,500's bid. At 4,005, say 5 if you're coming in now. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005 here. On the Cortina here, it's just 4,005. Would anyone else like to come in for 5? At 4,005 is bid. At 4,000, 4,005 is the bid now at 4,005. Anyone like to come in for one more on this one? At just 4,005 is bid. Are we finishing done here? At 4,005. I'll take 4,750 if it helps you out. At 4,005, 4,750 is that coming in? At 4,005, 4,750 is bid. At £4,750 is bid now at 4,750. Would you like to go 5 anywhere else? At £4,750 is the bid here, then at 4,750 and 5's in online. At £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Stay in the 250s for you if you want to come back in for one more. At £5,000 is bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Are we finishing done then? At £5,000 is your last chance in fair warning this time and away. At 5,000, 5,000 once. At 5,000 twice. Finishing done at £5,000. It's your bid online at 5,000. That's provisional 1096. Provisional bid there. Moving down we go. Lot number 251 in today's sale is this lovely, lovely 1965. It's the Mercedes-Benz. It's the 230 SL there. Lovely, lovely SL this one is. Very pretty example indeed. I'm not going to mess around here. I'm going to go straight in at £30,000. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, £36,000. We're starting here at 36,000, say 37 if anyone else wants to come in. At 36,000's bid. At 36, 36, 37, £38,000. At 38,000 now. At 38, 38, 38. At £38,000 is bid. Would anyone like to go 39 on this one here? At 38,000's bid. At 38, 39, thank you. £40,000 back to my commission interest there. At £40,000. It's going to sell today. It's in the market now at £40,000. At 40,000, 40,000, go one for one more. At £40,000 is bid. At 40,000, 40,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take 500s now. Would you like to go 40,005? At £40,000. 40,005. 41,000 back to me. At 41,000's bid. At 41, 41, coming in for another 5 now. At 41,000's the bid. At 41, 41. Would anyone else like to have a go on this one here at £41,000? I'll tell you what, hammers in the hand and we're selling here at £41,000. At 41.41, take 500 now from anyone else. At 41.5, you do online. At 41.5 and 42 is back to my commission bid. At £42,000, go 5 again for one more. At 42,000, 42.5 thanking you, but 43 is still my bid. At £43,000. At 43.43. At 43,000's bid. At 43.43, would you like to go again, underbidder? At 43, are we finished and done? Last chance in fair warning. Hammers up this time, I'm going to sell. At 43 once. At 43 twice. Finished and done at £43,000. Sold here on the book with me at £43,000 to commission bidder 1,000. Thank you very much if you left that bid. 1,000 there. That's yours at £43,000. Lot number 252, the Bentley Continental GT, already sold prior to auction. Sold away. Moving down, we go to lot number, sorry George, confusing everything up. There we go, 253. Lot number 253, the 1971, it's the MGB Roadster, lovely example again, straight in at 3.5 and £4,000 were a bid. At 4,000's bid. Say 4.5 if you're coming in. At £4,000 is the bid now at 4. At 4,000, 4,000, lovely little MGB this one is, at just £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. I'll take 250s if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like a quarter here? At £4,000, go 250 if you're coming in. At £4,000 is bid. At 4,000, 4,000, are we finished and done? On the book with me, make no mistake here. At £4,000 we're bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Are we finished and done? 4,250, you're in online. At 4,250, my commission is out, but we are on sale. At 4,250, go 4.5 if anyone wants to have a go. At 4,250, it's going to sell today, make no mistake. At 4,250, we are bid. At 4,250, 4,250, are we finished and done? Hammers up once. Hammers up twice. This time, and away it goes then at 4,005, sneaking in. At 4,005, Newbury bidder. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,500, we are bid. At 4,005, I tell you what, it's in the market, go 4.6 if you're coming back in. At 4,005 is bid. At 4,000, 4,006, thank you very much there. Cheshire bidder at 4,006. 4.7 if you want to come back in Newbury. At 4,006 is bid. Are we finished and done? Hammers up. We're in £100 increments. We shouldn't need long to think. At 4,600, once, twice. Finished and done. This time I'm going to sell then. At £4,600 it goes. Sold at £4,600. Thank you very much. Online bidder 20731. 20731. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 254 this time. 1971 is the Hillman Imp. A lovely little imp, this one there. We're going to go straight in. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,005. At 2,005 and 3,000. Thank you online. 3.5's my bid. At 3,005 here. At 3.5 and 4 is back in online. 4.5's my bid. 4.5 with me. £5,000 back in online. I'm out and you're in online bidder at £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000. I'll take 250 now. And anyone else like to come in for a small bite? At £5,000, we're here online with you at the minute at £5,000. Anyone like another 250 now? At 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 is the bid. Anyone for 250 now? Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance, 250's bid. Thank you very much. Essex bidder sneaking in there at £5,250. We are bid at 5,250, 5,250. I'll take 5.5 if anyone else is coming back in. 5.5, gentleman's bid. Hammers in hand now at 5,500. It's going to sell today. At 5,005, take 750 if you're coming back in online. At 5,005, are we finishing done? Gentleman's bid seated at the front at 5,005. Hammers up once, hammers up twice. This time it's going to sell at 5,500. Finished and done. Your bid, sir, £5,500. And your paddle number is 797. Thank you. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 255. Lot number 255. 2002 Mercedes-Benz is the SLK 32 AMG. Look at this one. Rare supercharged AMG version as well. I'm going to go straight in at £2,500. At 2005 is my bid. Say 3 next if you're coming in. At 2005. At 2,000, 2005 is bid. Would you like to go 3 anywhere else? At 2005 is on the book with me here at 2005. At 2,005. I'll tell you what, I'll take 2,750 if it helps you out. At 2,005. At 2,000, 2,005. Are we finishing done here at 2,005? 2,750. I'm going to have to be really strange here and go 2,008 with my commission interest at 2,800. I'll take 2,900 if they want to come back in. At 2,800's bid. 2,900, thank you. That's my interest out. At 2,009, you're in online. See 3,000 if you're going to go again. At 2,009, cheap little Mercedes run round this is at just 2,900, 3's bid. Thank you online. We'll stay in the hundreds for you there. St Ives bidder in Cambridgeshire at 3,000 is with you. Say 3,1 if anyone else wants to come in and have a go. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000. Say 3,1 for one more. We're finishing done. I will submit the bid today. 3,1's bid. Make it nice and quick. We're in little increments here. At 3,001's your bid online. 3,2 if you're coming back in. At 3,1, 3,1, 3,1. Are we finishing done? At just 3,100 once, twice. Finishing done. 3,2's back in now. 3,2. At 3,002. At 3,200's bid. Say 3,3 if you're going to go again. At 3,200, are we finishing done here? At just 3,200. I'll submit the bid then at 3,003. At 3,003. Cambridgeshire bidder, you're back. At 3,003 is the bid. At 3,3, 3,3, 3,3. At 3,003, would you like to go 3,4 now? Are we finishing done? At 3,003. At 3,3, 3,3, 3,3. Last chance, fair warning, 3,4. Thanking you. At 3,004. At 3,004's bid. At 3,004, say 3,500 for one more. Are we finishing done here? At just 3,004. Once, twice, finishing done then. Last chance in fair warning, this time then away. At £3,400 with 3,500. Not you online, seen a gentleman's bid there at 3,500. 3,500's bid. Online, you tried coming in then, but I took the room bid ahead of you. Gentleman's bid seated at 3,005. Make it 3,600 if either one of you want to come back in. It's your last chance in fair warning. I'll count it down once, twice. Finishing done at 3,006 is in. 3,600. Would you like 3,700? 3,700 bid. Just flick that to the room for me. 3,700 gentleman's bid. At 3,700 bid. Online, make it 3,800. 3,800, thank you. Online's bid. At 3,008. At 3,800's a bid. At 3,008. 3,900 if you're coming back in. At 3,008, are we finishing done? At 3,800, once, twice, finishing done. Last chance in fair warning, this time in a way, 3,900 new bidder. At 3,009, Cambridgeshire bidder's back. At 3,900's bid. At 3,009 and 4,000 for one more. Last chance in fair warning, once, twice, finishing done. I'm going to submit the bid now at 3,900, once, twice, finishing done at 3,900. That's your bid online at 3,900. That is a provisional bid there at 3,009, and that is to bidder number 17270. 17270. Moving on down we go. Lot number 256. 1971 is the Jaguar E-Type. The other E-Type in today's sale is the V12 Coupe. It's the 2+2 as well. We're going to go straight in at 15, 16, and 17,000 pounds. At 17,000 I start. Say 18 next if you're coming in. At 17,000 is the bid. At 17,000, 17,000, 18's bid. 19,000 now. At 19,000 pounds. At 19,000, 19,000 and 20's bid. At 20,000, my interest is out. You're in online. At 20,000 pounds with you in the West Midlands there. At 20,000, 20,000. At 20,000 pounds is bid. Say 21 if you're coming in. At just 20,000 pounds and 21's bid. At 21, 21 for the E-Type here. Little money this is. At just 21,000, would you like to go 22? At 21,000 pounds is the bid. At 21, 21. At 21,000, are we finished? Are we done? At 21,000 pounds, I'll tell you what, 21,500 if you're coming back in. We'll drop it now. At 21,000, would you like the 500? At 21,000, are you finished and done? At 21,000 pounds, the bid is here online. Last chance in fair warning, and I'll count it down if you're coming back in for one more. At 21,000 once. At 21,000 twice. Finishing done then with the online bidder here at 21,000 pounds. Whoa, 21,500 sneaking in there. Coventry, West Midlands bidder, you're back at 21,500. At 21,500. Say 22 for one more. At 21,500 is bid. At 21,500. Are we finishing done here? Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to submit the bid this time in a way. At 21,500 once. At 21,500 twice. All finished, all done at 21,500. That is your bid there, provisionally online. £21,500 to the bidder in the West Midlands there, 6037. Thanking you. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 257. Lot number 257 is the Hinkle, a Deluxe Cruiser. Nice little Hinkle, this one. Then we're going to go straight in at £3,500, and £4,000 we start. At £4,000, cool little car this is there. At just £4,000. Go 4,500 if you wish to come in and have a go on this one. On the Hinkle here at £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000. At 4,005. At 4,005, and 5,000's back to me. At £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000, say 500 for one more again. At £5,000, if we're finished and done here at just £5,000, I'll tell you what, we'll go 5,250 if you wish to have another go. At £5,000, would you like the small bite? Last chance in fair warning this time and away then. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, once. At 5,000, twice. Finished and done then. On the book with me here at just £5,000. That is provisionally with me at £5,000. That's 1102. Provisional bid there. Moving down, we go to lot number 258. The Peugeot vendors advised fully refurbishment, back axle bushes, new discs all round, brake pipers renewed, engine overhauled 20 years ago but never used, new headlight and spotlights as well. So you've got all of that to come in, and this one here is the 1989 Peugeot 205 GTI. What a cool little car this is, definitely for sure. Nice little one indeed. Anyone start me off at £8,000 here for the Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9. £8,000 seems little money here. Start me off. Who's got 8,000 to start? Anyone interested at 8? How about £5,000 to kick it off today? 5's bid. At 5,000 now, we'll go 5,500 next. At 5,000's the bid. At 5,005, 6,000's bid. At 6,000 now. At 6,005 and £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. At 7,005 and 8,000's bid. At £8,000 in 5. Keep going online at 8,005. At 8,005, my interest is well out now. At 8,005 is your bid now in Suffolk. At 8,005 is bid. At 8,000, £8,500 in 9. At £9,000 with you in Lincolnshire there. At 9,000 is the bid. Say 9,500 for one more if you're coming back in. At £9,000, you finished and done online. Would you like to have another go? At £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. I'll take the 250s now. Would you like the quarter bites? Underbid, are you coming back for one more? It's at £9,000 in Lincolnshire at the minute. Would anyone else like 9,250? At £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000 then. If we're finished and done, it's your last chance in fair warning. At £9,000, the bid is here online once. At 9,000, 9,000, the bid is here twice. 9,250, new bidder there in St Helens is with you now. At 9,250, say 9,500 if the underbidder wants to come back for one more. At £9,250, the bid. Peugeot 205 GTI at £9,250 is bid. Last chance in fair warning then, we'll count it down. At £9,250, the bid is here online once. At £9,250, the bid is here online twice. Finishing done then at £9,250. That's your bid online, 9,250. It is a provisional bid. We're a little way off on that one, but we will make that phone call and be in touch very shortly. 17764. Moving down we go. Lot number 259. Lot number 259 is another one of the 1966. It's the MG Midget 1100 this time. Looks great in that colour combination as well. Where are we going to go on this one? Straight in at £2,500, £3,000 we start. At 3,000's bid. At 3,000, 3,000, say 3,500 if you're coming in. Lovely MG this is, at just £3,000 here. At 3's bid. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. I'll take 250 if it helps you out. At 3,000's bid. 3,250 you're in online. It's your bid at the minute. At 3,250, say 3,500 for one more. At 3,250, 3,500 you're in. At 3,005, 2 online bidders now. My commission interest is done and dusted. At 3,005 is your bid. At 3,005. At 3,500, 3,500, 3,500. Would you like to go again for one more underbidder? At £3,500 is bid. I'll tell you what, go 3,600. We'll go in hundreds. Make it nice and quick. At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,500 is the bid now at 3,006. at 3,006, and on outright sale at £3,600 we're bid. It's selling today. Underbidder, would you like to go 3.7? Hammers up. Make no mistake here. At £3,600, I'm going to sell at 3,006. At 3,600 once. At 3,600 twice. Finishing done this time in a way. £3,600. Sold at 3,006. Thank you very much. £3,600 to bidder number 16021. 16021. Moving down we go. Lot number 260. 2004 Mercedes-Benz. It's the SL65. This is pure machine power. And what can you tell us about it, Steve?
Well, Tom, what I can tell you about working, he said, I know, it's not really work, is it? I'm stealing a living here. But being at Manor Park, 1 minute I'm obliged to talk about a 3-box Cortina with steel wheels and velour upholstery, and the next minute I'm standing next to this thing, a 2004 AMG Mercedes SL65 V12 bi-turbo. Just look at the thing. Everything about this car is powered, assisted. There are modes. This is where we come into the era of personalizing the driving experience. And that's just not the experience of pressing pedals and feeling the sensation of acceleration and speed and all that sort of stuff. It's about being cosseted in sybaritic, yes, Tom, sybaritic luxury with a capital G inside this beautifully equipped grand touring car. Now, sometimes they get away with a lack of performance in the old GT market, especially back in the day. This car's more than 20 years old now, by not having too much in the means of performance, but giving you lots of toys to play with. Not with this car. Come around this end and gaze upon the magnificence that is. Look at that. AMG. Right there. V12 bi-turbo, 600 brake horsepower. In 2004, that was a very big deal indeed, and it is today. If you could see how much this car cost, it was new. Somebody's just said to me, you could buy a row of terraced houses in Burnley for the same price as this car back in 2004. Right, well, I ask you, which would you rather have? No, actually, you'd probably rather have the houses, wouldn't you, because you're not daft. But what would you rather drive round in? Look at it. Distinct Batman vibes. Be a superhero. Be Bruce Wayne in this Batman-like 2004 Mercedes AMG. I'm going to say it again. It sounds so good. Mercedes AMG SL65 V12 bi-turbo. Wow.
Wow, indeed. We're in online. It's running up in the minute. It's gone 21, 22, 23's online. I got 24, 25, and £26,000. We've also got a telephone here as well. At 26,000's my bid here with me at 26. 27 if you want to come in online. 27 online bid, and my commission is finished at £27,000. Say 28 if anyone wishes to have a go on this one. At 27,000 is bid. At 27.27. At 27,000 is bid. Would you like to go 28? Yes, please, they say. At 28,029. At 29.29. At £29,000 we're bid. Would you like to go 30 anywhere else? At 29,000 is the bid. At £29,000. At 29,000 is the bid. £30,000. Lancashire bidder, you're in the lead. At 30,000, the bid is with you. At 30,000, 1. At 31,31. At £31,000, we are bid now at 31,000. At 31,31 and 2. At £32,000 is the bid now at 32. Have a good look, ladies and gentlemen. Do not miss out. What a lovely car and machine this is. At £33,000, we are bid. At 33,000 is the bid now at 33. With you online in £34,000 here. At 34,34. At 34,000, would you like to go 35 underbidder? At £34,000, we are bid now at 34,000. At 34,34, are you finished and done? At £34,000, it will be sold today. Make no mistake. 35. At £35,000 is bid. At 35 and 36. Thank you for your fast bid in there in Lancashire. At £36,000. At 36, 36. At 36,000 is the bid now at 36. I'll make it a little bit easier for you online. Would you like to go 36 and 5? Coming in for the 500s. At £36,000, I won't drop the increment any lower. Got to be fair to the underbidder on this one. At £36,000, the bid is here online. Make no mistake, if we're all finished and done, the hammer is up. At £36,000, we are selling today. Make no mistake, once, twice. Finished and done. This time and away it goes at £36,000 and selling. Sold at £36,000. Thank you very much, online bidder there. 19394. 19394. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 6. Lot number 620. Lot number 261. Lot number 261 there. 1982 Triumph Spitfire. This time it's the Triumph Spitfire 1500 there. I'm going to go straight in at just £3,000. We start. At 3's the bid. At 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is the bid now at 3,000 on the lovely little Spitfire here at just £3,000. Cheap money this is. At just £3,000 we are bid. At 3,000, 3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. I'll tell you what, we'll take 250, 3,250 if you want to come in. At just £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. 250 if anyone wants to have a go. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take 1 if anyone wants to come in. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to be worth more than this, hasn't it? At just £3,000. Is that all we are going to see today? It disappoints me. At just £3,000. Go 3-1 for one more. Last chance in fair warning then. If we're finished and done at just £3,000 once, twice. Finished and done then at £3,000. That is provisional at £3,000. 1056 his way. £3,000. That is a provisional. Moving on to lot number 262, 1990 Mitsubishi L200. Let me just change this one. Right there, moving on, there we go, the L200 there, the 2-litre long bed there. I love this little truck, nice little thing it is. I'm going to go straight in, not messing around. Do you want to just undo that there? I'm going to go straight in here at 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, £7,500 we start. At 7,005. Say 8,000 if anyone else wishes to come in. At 7,005 on the L200 here, at just 7,005 we're bid. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005. I'll take the quarters if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like 7,750? At 7,005. At 7,500 we're bid on the L200 here, at just 7,005. At 7,750 you're in. And £8,000 is bid. Online, coming back for one more. It's against you now. My commission bidder here at £8,000. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. At 8,250 and 8,500. At 8,005 is bid. Still with my commission interest here though online. You need to go one more if you wish to go again. At 8,005. At 8,000, 8,005 here on the L200. If we're finished and done, it's your last chance in fair warning then. At 8,500 once. At 8,500 twice. All finished, all done. At £8,500 on the book with me at 8,500. Sold at £8,500 to 1002. Thank you to the commission bidder there. Moving on, before we do, lot number 240, the Mercedes G-Wagon. Sold away at £18,000. Moving down we go, lot number 263. Lot number 263, 1993, good year that. The Avanti Gran Primo. There we go, great looking rare sports car this is. I'm going to go straight in at just £2,000 we start. Two's bid, say 2.5 next if you're coming in. At £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000. At 2,000 on the Avanti here, at just £2,000. Say 2,500 for one more. At £2,000 we are bid now at 2. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. At £2,000 is the bid. At 2,000 coming in. 2,500 you do. At 2,005 with you online, I believe. At 2,005, just press undo. I think there was an online bid there. 2,500, online's in. At 2,005. At 2,005. At 2,000, 2,005. I'll take 2,600 for the next bid. At 2,005. My commission interest is out now. It's online here at 2,005. Say 2,600 if you want to have a go. At 2,000, 2,600. And we're selling today at 2006. At 2006, yes we are. Just wanted to get clarification. At 2006. At 2,600, hammers up. Make no mistake, I'm going to sell here. At 2006, it's in the market. I'll take 2,700 if anyone else wishes to have a go. At 2,600, once, twice. Finished and done, I'm going to sell. Make no mistake, at £2,600. Sold it at £2,600. Sold to 20861. 20861. Sold your way. Lot number 210, my favourite in the sale. The Little Beetle Ute. Sold away at £10,000. That's how those provisionals convert over, ladies and gentlemen. It's starting to happen now, as you are seeing there. Lot number 264, 1960. It's the Morris Mini Cooper. It's the S-Works Evocation, this is. I'm not going to mess around. You're in at 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and £7,000. We start with me here at 7,000. Say 5 for one more. Lovely little evocation this is. At 7,005, £8,000. My commission interest is out. And we're online and selling today at £8,000. Go 250s now. We're in the market to be sold here. Who wants the quarter? At £8,000. 8,250 you do. Thank you online. Make it nice and quick on this one. We're selling today at 8,005. At 8,500's bid. At £8,500 now. At 8,005, coming in for the 750 for one more. We've finished and done. Hammers up. 8,750 now. Southampton bidder, £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000. At 9,000, would you like to go again online? 9,250 you do indeed. At 9,250 your bid. And 9,250, would you like to go 9,500 now? Are we finished and done? It's going to sell, so make no mistake. Hammers up this time and away. It goes with you online at 9,250 and 9,500. At 9,005. At 9,500, 9,500, 9,500. Underbidder, would you like to go again? At 9,500, I'm selling. At 9,500, hammers up. At 9,500, are we finishing done? Once, twice. It's going to go this time at 9,500 and 750's bid. At 9,750 and 10. It's gone on now. At £10,000 on the S-Works Evocation here. At just 10,000's the bid. At 10,000, 10,000, would you like 250 for one more? Hammers in hand, and it's going to sell today. At 10,000, all finished and done then. Last chance in fair warning. Once, 250's back in. At 10,250 and 10,500, thanking you. At 10,005. At 10,500, 10,500, 10,500. Are we finishing done here? Would you like to go again? Make it now or never online. Hammers up and selling this time and away. At 10,005 and 750's back in at 10,750. Kent bidder this time is your bid now. At £10,750 a bid. At 10,750 here. Are we finishing done? It's with you online. Make no mistake. Hammers up once. Hammers up twice. And it sells with you online at £10,750 it goes. Sold it 10,750. Thank you. And that was two bidder numbers 691. Thank you there online. 691. That was another early day bidder. Thanking you very much online. Moving on to lot number 265, 1983 Rover. It's the SD1 this time, the 2600S. Very collectible Rover, this one indeed. Start me off. Has anyone got £3,000 to start? £3,000 to kick it off today. Surely worth £3,000. Let's get it gone. I've got nothing on my book. Someone needs to start it off. £3,000, surely. Is that a bid? Three's in online. Thank you online. We'll run in the quarters again. 3,250's next. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is bid. At £3,000 now with the online bidder here. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is online. Take 250 if you're going to bid again. At 3,000, are we finishing done? Would anyone like to come and have a go? At just £3,000, I'm going to count it down there. Make no mistake, if we're finishing done, it's online here at just £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000 once. At 3,000, 3,000 twice. All finished, all done then at just £3,000. It's provisionally with you online at £3,000, 1102, £3,000, provisional. Moving on down we go, lot number 266 this time, 1998 is the Volvo V70. I love a Volvo V70, love the estate Volvos, great looking car this is indeed. Online you're in at 3, I got 3.5. At 3,005 with me, 4,000's with you. At 4,005 is my bid here, at 4,005. At 4,005 bid. 5,000's in online. I'll take 250 next. My commission interest is out, but we'll go in the 250s now. It's at £5,000 with the online bidder here. It's with you in Surrey at £5,000. Would anyone like another quarter? At 5,000, 5,000. Are we finishing done? I will sell it at that. Make no mistake. Quarter bid if you're coming back in now at £5,000 with the online bidder here in Surrey. Once, twice. Finishing done, 5,250. Thank you, sir. At 5,250. Gentleman's bid. Online, you coming back for one more? Yes, you are. 5,500. Take 750 for one more. 5,750. You're in now, sir, I think. At 5,750. Online, you need to come back for 6,000. At 5,750. Left-handed here. Gentleman's bid. Hammers up. I'm going to sell. Once, twice. Finishing done. At £5,750 or finishing done. Your bid, sir. £5,750. Could I just get your paddle number? 775. Thank you very much. Moving on down the list we go. 1980 is the Leyland Mini this time, in the yellow there. Looks great indeed. The 1275 GT Classic Mini with the turbo-powered engine as well. I'm going to go straight in at 4, 4.5 and £5,000. Lovely little Mini this is. And 5,000 with my commission interest here. Say 5.5 if anyone wants to come in. At £5,000 we are bid. At 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 is the bid now at 5. Are we finishing done then? I will submit the bid today unless you come in for another 5. At 5,005. At 5,500's bid. At 5,500 is the bid now at 5,005. At 5,005, my commission interest is done at 5,005. I'll tell you what, we'll go in 250s. Would anyone like a quarter buy? It's online here at 5,005. My interest is done. 5,750 if you wish to go again. At 5,005. At 5,500 is bid. Last chance in fair warning then, finishing done. At £5,500 with the online bidder here at 5,005. That's your bid there online. That's 837, 5,500. Moving down we go. Lot number 268. 1984, it's the Renault Fuego. Look at this one, the Renault Fuego there, and we're going to go straight in at just £2,000 we start. We'll run in the quarters again, though, online. If you want to go 250, you can. At 2,000's bid. At 2,000, 2,000 on the Renault Fuego here in the black. At just £2,000 is bid. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. At £2,000. Would anyone like to go to 250? At just £2,000, are we finishing done? Make no mistake. At £2,000 is bid. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, all finishing done then. Last chance in fair warning on the Fuego here at just £2,000, once, twice. Finishing done then at £2,000. My commission interest here, provisional bid there, and that is 6,956. Moving on down the list we go to, moving on down the list we go to lot number 269. 2004 in the year is the Bentley Continental GT. Lovely little Bentley this one is. I'm going to go straight in at just £5,000 for the Bentley here. £5,000 we start. Say 5,500 if anyone wants to come in. Nice Bentley this is at just £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,005, 5,005 and 6,000's back to me. At £6,000, go 5 for one more. At 6,000 is bid. At 6,005, new bidder this time. And my commission interest is out, believe it or not. But Devon bidder, you're in. At 6,005 and £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000, would you like to go 5 again? At 7,000's the bid. 7,500 now. At 7,005. 8,000 if you're coming back in. At just 7,500. The bid is online here at 7,005. At 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. At 7,005, £8,000. New bidder again this time at £8,000. Thanking you. Your bid now at £8,000. Go 5 for one more. At £8,000. Bargain this could be at just 8,000's the bid. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. I'll tell you what, I'll go 8,250 if it helps you out anywhere else. So 8,005 coming in for the quarter bids. At £8,000, the bid is here online. At 8,000, 8,000. Are we finishing done at just £8,000? Take 250 for one more. 8,250. Thank you there. Newbury bidders back. At £8,250, your bid. At 8,250, take 8.5. At 8,250 is bid. At 8,250, 8,250, are we finished and done? At just 8,250, I'm going to count it down, so make no mistake here. At 8,250, the bid is online. 8.5. 8,750, it's running off now at 8,750 on the Continental here, £9,000. Thanking you there. Newbury bidders back at £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000, go 250 for one more. At £9,000, we finishing done. Underbidders, would you like to come back in? Lovely car it is at just £9,000. Are we sure and done? At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. At 9,000 once. At 9,000 twice. 9,250. Devon bidder, you're back. 9,500 straight away though. Newbury's keen. At 9,005. At 9,500, 9,500, 9,500. Devon bidder, would you like to go again for one more? At 9,005. Stunning little Bentley Continental GT here at just 9,500 bid and 750. Thank you, Devon. At 9,750 and 10. At 10,000, 10,000. At £10,000. Hammers in the hand. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? It's gonna sell today. At 10,000, we're bid. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, would you like another quarter? At £10,000, are you finished? Are you done? At 10,000, last chance. At 10,000, fair warning, hammers up, and I'm going to sell at 10,250's bid. At 10,250 and 5, thanking you there. Newbury bidder, nice and keen on your button, I like it. At 10,005. At 10,500, 10,500, 10,500, hammers up. At 10,005, are we finishing done? I'm going to sell. This time and away then. Once, twice, finishing done. 10,750's back in Devon. At 10,750 and 11,000 now. At 11,000, 11,000, would you like to go 250 again? At £11,000, hammers in hand and selling away with the online bid this time and away then. At 11,250 it goes on. 11,250. 11,250, 11,500. 11,000, 11,005's bid. 11,005, would you like to go again online? And Devon, is your turn now. 11,005, the bid is against you in Devon. At 11,500, hammers up. 11,500, we're selling once, twice, finished in 11,750. 11,750 and 12's bid. At £12,000 now. At 12,000, 12,000. At 12,000 once. At 12,000 twice. Hammers up and we sell. This time and away with you in Newbury at £12,000. All finished and done. Sold at £12,000. Thank you there, Newbury bidder. Not 1496. 1496. Thanking you. Moving on down we go to lot number 270 in today's sale. 1988 is the Porsche 944, and over to you, Steve Berry.
Cars come to us here at Manor Park in all kinds of condition. And sometimes we can get a car that is absolutely pristine, running perfectly, beautiful paintwork, well-appointed interior. We know nothing about the car. Well, here's something very different, because we know everything about this car. We know its whole story. It had one owner for 35 years, and he kept a record of everything. Everything this car ever did, every service, every repair, every little bit of paintwork that needed touching up, every little job, things that needed repairing, replacing, tires, brake pads, the lot. The paperwork, the story, the history of this car is well known to us. Stratos Black, I think this is called, with that kind of beige cloth interior. Of course it's an S, so it's got the 2.5 litre engine, 190 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, and a top speed of 145 miles an hour. But it's so rare to have so much information about a car of this age. Almost 40 years old, 70,000 miles underneath its tyres. By the way, these are a new set of Firestone Firehawk tyres, the car that this would have had back in the day. The guy was obsessed with keeping it as original as possible, and here it is. Is it cooler than a 911? The jury is out. But two things are for certain. It's rarer than a 911, and it is considerably more affordable than a 911.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, 1988 Porsche 944 here, straight in online at £8,000. At 8,000's bid. We'll say 8.5 if anyone wants to come in. At £8,000 is bid. I had nothing on my book on this one, but online's in and away. At 8,000, 8.5. At 8,500 we're bid. At 8,005, say 9 for one more. At 8,500 with the online bidder here. At just 8,500 on the Porsche 944S. At 8,005. At 8,000, 8,500, we are bid. Would anyone else like to come in for 9? At 8,500, the bid is here online. At 8,005, I'll tell you what, we'll take the 750, the quarter bite. Shouldn't need to here. At just 8,500, would anyone else like to have another go? At 8,750, we do. Warwickshire bidder, you're in. At £8,750. Take it to 9. 9 you do. Thanking you there. Devon bidder, you're back. At £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000. At 9,000, would you like to go 250 again anywhere else? At £9,000 is the bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Are we finished and done? Would anyone else like to have another go on this one? At just £9,000, the bid is against you online. At 9,000, 9,000. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to count it down. At £9,000, the bid is here once. At 9,000, 9,000, the bid is here twice. All finished and done then with you online at 9,250. Thank you, just in time, sir. At 9,250, the bid is here now. At 9,250's bid. At £9,250 is the bid now at 9,250. Would anyone else like to go 9,500? Are we finished and done? At 9,250, the bid then once. At 9,250, the bid then twice. All finished, all done. Last chance, fair warning at £9,250. That's provisionally with you, 175, I think it is. Yes, 175. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 271 in today's sale is the 1972. It's the Triumph Stag. Lovely looking stag this is. Someone start me off. Who's got £5,000? Seems cheap for a stag. Start me off today at just £5,000. Kick it off here. 5,000. Five's bid. 5,005. It's off now at 5,005 with the online bidders here. At 5,005, say 6,000 if you want to come in. At 5,005, lovely stag this is. 6,000's bid. Thank you there in North Yorkshire. It's your bid at the minute. At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,005. At 6,005 and 7 if you're coming back in. At 6,005 and 7, thanking you at £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000, say 5 for one more. At 7,000 is bid. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005 and 8,000 will you? At 7,005 are you finished and done? 8's bid. 8,000 now. At 8,000, 8,000. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. I'll tell you what, I'll go 250 if you wish to come back in. At £8,000, the bid is with you in Yorkshire at the minute. At £8,000, would anyone else like to have a small go on this one? At £8,000, take 250 if anyone wants to come in. At just £8,000, are we finished and done then? Last chance in fair warning, 8,250's bid. Devon bidder, you're back again at 8,250. The bid is with you. At 8,250, we are bid. Would you like to go 8,500 bidder? At £8,250 is bid. At 8,250, 8,250. At £8,250 is the bid now at 8,250. Last chance in fair warning then. We'll submit the bid today, make no mistake. At 8,250, the bid is with you in Devon online. Once at £8,250, the bid then twice. All finished and done at £8,250. We are very, very close on that one online. I don't think the vendor answered the phone, so I think we will probably get a deal done for you very quickly. We'll be in touch very shortly, and that was 20634. 20634, and that was a provisional sale at £8,250. Moving on we go to lot number 272, 1998. It's a BMW Z3. Looks great there in the middle of the room in the red. Where are we going to go on this? It's the 1.9 as well. Who's got 3,000 to start? Nice little Z3 there. Surely worth £3,000 to kick it off today. Got to be, hasn't it? £3,000? Anyone interested there? Z3 there, look at it. £3,000 to start me off. Again, nothing on my book. How about 2,000? 2, 3? Appreciate it, thank you. 3,000, gentleman's bid. At £3,000. At 3,000 bid. Just undo it one, they're in at 3. At 3,000's the bid. Thank you. At 3,000, 3,000. Go 5 anywhere else. At £3,000. 3,500. At 3,005. Would you like 4? 4? Half? 3,750. Okay. 3,750. Thank you. At 3,750 is bid. Take 4 next. At 3,750, we are bid. 4. 4,000. Not you online. 4,000. Seated. Stay in the 250s for you. One more? 4,250. 4,250. Would you like 4.5, guys? You sure? At 4,250, we're bid then. At 4,250, go for 5 anywhere else. At 4,250, we finished and done. Last chance, fair warning. There's a few of you online. At 4,5's in. I'll take the hundreds if it helps. At 4,005. Take 4,6 from anywhere else. It's online here at 4,5, and I'll take 4,6 to keep it going. At 4,005. At 4,005. At 4,005, are we sure? Are we done? I'll take 4,6 from anywhere else. It's online here, make no mistake. Once. At 4,005. Twice. At 4,005. All finished and done at £4,500 with the online bid here at 4,005. That is provisional again online, but we are very, very close on that one. I think we'll have some sort of deal done for you in no time at all. Moving on to 17369. Is that 17369 was the bidder? 17369, yes. Moving on to lot number 273, 1986. The Range Rover EFI, there we go. Look at this one, the 3.5 in current ownership for 34 years. There we go. I'm straight in at £6,000. £6,000. I'm just going to say to put that to the room because I got 6,000 here, but if they've got 6,500, there we go, 6,500. At 6,005. At 6,000, 6,005 is bid. Would anyone like to go 7 here? At 6,005 and £7,000. At 7,000's bid. Say 5 for one more. Lovely little Range Rover this is. 1986 at 7,005 is bid. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005. Take 8,000 now. If you're coming back in for one more, are we finished and done here at 7,005? At 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. Would you like to go 8? At 7,005, are we finished and done? At 7,500, I'm going to count it down. 8's bid. Thank you. Essex bidder at £8,000. At 8,000, 8,000, say 5 for one more. At 8,005. At 8,005, good little battle this one here on the Range Rover, and we sell today. I'll tell you what, we'll take the quarters now. We're on sale, so make no mistake. Would anyone like 8,750? 8,750. 9's next. 9's bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Coming in for the 250 for one more. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Hammers up, we're selling at £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000, all finished and done then. I'm going to count it down on the Range Rover here. Once, twice, finished and done. This time and away. At £9,000 it sells. Sold at £9,000. Thank you very much, online bidder. You are 13870. 13870. Moving down we go. Lot number 274. 274. Here we go. The 2008. I love an MX-5. Lovely looking Mazda this one is. It's the 1.8i. No reserve, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a commission bid, but would someone start me off at £1,000 to kick it off today? Just £1,000 to get it going. Surely, MX-5 here. Thousands bid. £1,000. 1,500, £2,000 to me is my bid here, and I'll take the quarters if it helps everyone out here. At £2,000, we'll go 250s, we will. On the book with me, make no mistake, at £2,000, 250 for one more. At 2,000, 2,000, are we finished and done? I will sell it at that, make no mistake, no reserve, it must be sold. I'll tell you what, go 2-1, let's run in the hundreds. At £2,000, would you like another 100 here? At 2,000, 2,000, coming in, it's now or never online if you're gonna bid. The last chance. At 2,000, fair warning, selling on the book with me at £2,000 or 2-1 sneaking in now at 2001. Make it 2-2. My commission interest is out. You're in online. At 2001, it's going to go today. 2-2 if you're coming in. At 2001, are we finished? Are we done? At just 2,100. Hammers up once, hammers up twice, and I'm selling this time in a way. Online has it at 2,100. It goes. 2,100. Thank you, online bidder. You are bidder number 7952. 7952. Thanking you. Moving on to lot number 275. Lot number 275, here we go. 1985 Volkswagen. First one of the sort of vans that we got, I believe, today. It's the LT28 van. There we go. Great looking van. This is film and television features as well. What a little machine this is. Who's got £3,000 to start? Nothing on my book today either. So start me off today here at just £3,000. What a cool little van this could be. 3's bid. 3,000 now. At £3,000. At 3,000's the bid. 3.5's in online. At 3,005, go 4 anywhere else. At 3,005, my commission interest is out. You're in online at 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005. Online bid. I'll tell you what, go 3,750 if anyone else wants to have a go. Would you like the call, sir? At 3,005, the bid is online. At 3,750, you're in Suffolk. Well done. At 3,750, the bid is with you. At £3,750. At 3,750, 3,750, are we finishing done? At £3,750 and selling. Make no mistake, it's gonna go. I'll take 4,000 if anyone else wants to come in. Hammers up, make no mistake, then it goes at 3,750 once, twice, finished and done. The Suffolk bidder's in at £3,750. Sold it, £3,750. Your bidder there, 11310, I think that is. 11310, yes it is. Lot number 220 in today's sale, the Land Rover Defender, the 110 there, I think it was the white one, not too sure. We're gonna go, sold away at £13,500 as well. Thanking you to whoever bought that one. There we go, another one's over the line today, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to lot number 276. It's the 1986, it's the Austin Mini 1000 City E. There we go, ultra low mileage on this one, great example indeed. Believed to be a genuine 3,393 miles. There we go. Start me off on this one. Little money here. Who's got five? Five's bid. £5,000 with me. Straight away, 5.5 and 6. £6,000 we're up to. At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000, go 5 for one more. Just £6,000 is here. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Are we finishing done? 6,500 and 7,000 back to me. At £7,000. At 7,000, 7,000. At 7,000, are we finishing done? At just £7,000 is the bid now at 7,000. Last chance in fair warning then, if we're finishing done here at just 7,000, take the 5 now for one more. Last chance, fair warning, finishing done at just £7,000. That is provisionally with me there at £7,000, 10.56, it left that one. Moving on down the list we go. To lot number 277. 1972 is the Volvo, it's the P1800 ES, another no reserve product in today's sale. Where are we going to go? Start me off. I got 500 and I got £1,000. 1,000's bid here. £1,000. You're in online at 1,500, I believe. £1,500 is bid. At 1,500 and I'm out. At £1,500, the bid is online here. At 1,500, would anyone like to go 2,000 now? At 1,500, 1,500. At 1,500's bid. At 1,500, I'll tell you what, we'll go 1,750. Anyone like a small bite? At £1,500 is bid. I'll take 1,750 now if you're coming in. At 1,500 is the bid now at 1,500. At 1,500, 1,750. Thank you. At 1,750, 2,000 is gone on. At £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. At 2,000, 2,250. Thank you again. At 2,250, 2,500 straight back in online. At 2,005, 2,750 now. At 2,750 and 3 is online bidding here. At £3,000, go 250 again. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is bid. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,250. Thank you again. At 3,250, coming in for 3,500. 3,500 you do. At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005. Would you like another one, sir? At 3,005, are we finishing done? At 3,005, the bid is here online. At 3,005, finishing done then. Last chance in fair warning. Hammers up and away it goes this time, unless anyone else would like to have another go. At 3,005, once, twice, online bid has it, and away it goes at £3,500. Sold at 3,005. And that was bidder number 20808.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it's...
Moving down we go. Lot number 278 this time. Lot number 278. 1987 Mercedes-Benz is the 300 SL. There we go. There we go. Long-term ownership of 38 years in the same hands as well. I'm going to go straight in at 5, 6, 7, 8,000 pounds. At 8,000's bid. At 8,000 pounds. Go 8,500 if we're bidding. At £8,000 is the bid now at 8,000. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. 8,500's in online and 9,000's back to me. At 9,000 bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. 9,500 and 10,000 back to me. At 10,000 here. At 10,000, 10,000, go 500 for one more. At £10,000 on the SL here at just 10,000's bid. At 10,005. Online, you'll be glad to know my commission interest is out. You're in at 10,005. At 10,500's bid. Next bid's 11 if anyone wishes to bid. At 10,005. At 10,000, 10,005. 11's bid on the phone, not on the online bidder. Another online bid. £11,000. 11,000's bid. 11,500 anywhere else. £11,000. Would anyone like to go 5?
Well, it's the internet that's the problem.
11,000's bid.
Some people want to come in at last minute.
11,000, 11,000. Would you like to go 5s on the phone?
Well, they do sometimes. And he gives them enough.
At £11,000. With the online bid then, the last chance in fair warning, we will submit the bid today. 11,000, 11,000. Are we finished and done online?
11,250.
I'll take it. Thank you on the phones. 11,250 with the telephone bidder. Online, you need to make it 11,500.
So that's you now.
11,250's bid. 11,250, 11,250. Would anyone like 11,500? Gentlemen at the back of the room. 11,500. 11,005. 11,750. Telephones back in against you now at the back of the room. 11,750. Would you like 12? 12,000 again. Thank you again, sir. The 12,000's bid is against you on the phones now.
12,250.
At £12,000. 12,250. Telephones back in. Thank you on the phones. At 12,250. It's against you now, sir. At 12,250. Would you like to go 12,500? At 12,250. 12,500? 12,500's bid. At 12,005, between the two of you now. At 12,005. At 12,005. Last chance in fair warning then to the gentleman at the back of the room. Got to be nice and fair at 12,005. 12,750's come back in on the phones. At 12,750. At 12,750, would you like 13? At 12,750, we are bid. At 12,750, you coming back in for one more? 13's bid. 13,000. At 13,000. At 13,000's bid. At 13,000 against you on the phones.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
At 13,000.
Yeah, so it's 13.
At £13,000. 13,250 back to the telephones. At 13,250's bid. Would you like 13,500? At 13,250 here on the phones it is. At £13,250 the bid. Would you like one more? Last chance. Yes, 13,500. Thank you. 13,500's back in. At 13,005. At 13,500, 13,500.
Thank you very much for trying.
At the back of the room then, at 13,005 once, at 13,500 twice, all finishing done. That's your bid at the back there, 13,005. That is provisional. Do you have your paddle number to hand? Do you have your paddle? Cheers, 784. Moving on we go to lot number 279 this time. Lot number 279, 1993, another one of the Volkswagens. It's the LT35 van, this one, another lovely van. Where are we going to go on this one? I'm going to go straight in at £2,000 with me. Say 2,500 next. 3 is that bid? 3,000 even better online. My commission interest is out now. Is your bid online? At £3,000. At 3,005. At 3,500's bid. With you in Kent at the minute. At 3,005. £4,000. At 4,000 with you, Liverpool bidder. At £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000. At £4,000 is bid. I'll tell you what, go for 250 if you wish to continue. At £4,000 is the bid. 250 for one more. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Are we finishing done here at just £4,000? The last chance in fair warning. I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake. If you're coming back in, it's now or never. At £4,000, the bid is here online once. At £4,000, the bid is here online twice. All finished. All done at £4,000. That's provisionally with you online there at £4,000. Thank you for your bid. You are bidder number 101. 101, I think it's 89. 89 it is. Thank you very much, online bidder. Moving on to lot number 280. This gives me a bit of nostalgia. It was one of my first cars, but I'm going to go over to Steve to tell you all about it.
It's our fault, Tom. The baby boomers like me, the ones who had it good. When I passed my driving test, my dad asked Bernard, his insurance man. I remember it. He said, "Bernard, can you stick my lad on the insurance?" "No problem, Alan," said Bernard. I never knew what his second name was. And he stuck me on the insurance on my dad's BMW 2002 Tii. I had just passed my driving test. The people who bought these cars were suffering for what we had done. They couldn't just be popped on the insurance of a performance car. They had to drive cars like this. Not a hot hatch, shall we say a warm hatch. A Corsa 1.6 16 valve, but of course, no ordinary Corsa 1.6 16 valve, because this one is maxed. This is a max power cover car. It was actually built for the Haynes manual on modifying your car. And people forget just how big the scene was. I remember being involved in publishing at the time and reading the circulation figures for Max Power magazine. It wasn't just the best-selling car magazine in the UK. It was one of the best-selling magazines. It was up there with like the TV Times and Family Circle and stuff like that. Everyone was at it. There were meets, there were get-togethers, there were shows at race circuits and all sorts of stuff. And Haynes, the people who do manuals, built this car to show the youth of Britain how they could modify the looks of their car because they weren't allowed to drive a really fast one. So this one's got everything you would expect on a car from that era, including these, rather difficult bucket seats. Not only is this car max power, but with that sunroof, it's also max headroom.
Right then, there we go. The Corsa there with the sunroof and all that showing as well. All the little bits and packages that are included on this one. Who's got £5,000 to start me off today? Just £5,000. Nothing on my book on this one. Someone kick it off for me today at just £5,000. I'll tell you what, go £3,000. £3,000. Can't go any lower than that. Kick it off today at just £3,000, surely. The 1.6 Sport, 1998, Vauxhall Corsas. Kick me off today at just 3,000, 3,000 your bid online. Thank you. We'll go in 500s on this one. We are a little way off. At 3,000's bid online. At 3,000, 3,000 with a maiden bid here, online bidder at £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Is that all we're going to see today at just £3,000? Surely not. At 3,000's bid. At 3,000, 3,000, go 5 for one more. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Last chance in fair warning then. I will submit the bid to the vendor here at just 3,000 once. At 3,000 twice. All finished, all done then. Where's that? Sorry, confusing me. 3,005, thank you sir. At 3,005, your bid, gentleman's bid. At 3,005. At 3,005, we're in the room now at 3,500's bid. Say 4,000 for one more. At 3,500, I'll submit the bid then. Last chance in fair warning at 3,005. That's provisionally with you, sir. 175, thank you, 175. 3,500, provisional. Very provisional there. I have to make a phone call on that one. Moving on to lot number 281 is the 1980/1995. Not sure where that comes from. The DRK, it's the three-wheeler factory built there as well. Who's got £1,000 to kick it off today? Surely £1,000 to get it going. Cool piece of car this is. Let's get it gone. £1,000 to go. Thousands bid with you online. Go in the 250s. We'll sell it to the nearest 250 on this one. £1,000's bid. Who wants a call to bid? What a fun car this is for just £1,000. Surely worth more. At 1,000 bid. And £1,000 is the bid now at 1,000. At 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Take the 250 if anyone's coming in. Surely there's another £250 on this. How about 1,100 then? Go 1,100, surely. What a bargain this might be at just £1,000 online. At 1,000's the bid. At 1,000, 1,000. Are we finished and done then? Last chance in fair warning at £1,000 with you online. 11's bid. 1,100. We've got an auction on our hands. Norfolk bidder, you're in. 1,100. Go 12. 12's bid. Thank you. Shouldn't need long to think. Little money this is at just £1,200. At 1,200, 1,200. At £1,200 is the bid. Go 13 for one more. Last chance in fair warning online. You coming in again. At 1,200, 1,200. Last chance. Fair warning. Finishing done. Goes once. It goes twice. Finishing done at 1,200. That's your bid online at £1,200. That is provisional. We will make a phone call. I'm pretty sure you'll get it for something around there. 489, 489. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 282 is the 1956. Is the Volkswagen Type 2 microbus. I had a good look around this one. It looks great inside as well. It's the split screen edition as well. 23 windows, pull back sunroof, barn doors. Could it get any better? It says here. I don't know. Start me off. Who's got 10? 10's bid. £10,000 with me here. 10,000's bid. Go 11 next if we can. At £10,000. Coming in for the 1,000. 11's bid. 12's bid. At £12,000. At 12,000, 12,000. At 12,000, go 13 next if you will. At £12,000. At 12, 13 bid. Thank you. 14's bid. At 14,000 now. At 14,000, 14,000. Go 15 for one more online. 15's bid. 16's back to me. At 16,000, 16,000. At 16,000, 16,000. Take it to 17 for one more if we're finishing done. At £16,000 on the book here then. At 16,000, 16,000. At 16,000, 16,000. Take 17 anywhere else. At 16,000. Finishing done then. Last chance in fair warning. Once. At 16,000 twice, all finished, all done then at £16,000. 1063, that is provisional with me, 1063. Moving on to lot number 283. Lot number 283 in today's sale is the 1971, another Triumph Stag there in current ownership since 1985 as well. I'm straight in at just £4,000 on the Stag here at just 4,000, 4,000. At 4,000, 5. 4,5's bid and 5,000 now at £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000. Go 5,500 for one more. At 5,005. You're in online and my commission interest is out. At 5,005. Would anyone like to go 6? 6 you do. Thanking you at £6,000. Welcome back, Guernsey again. At £6,000 is your bid. At 6,000, 6,000. I think you might have got the last one as well. I'm not too sure. At 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000 is bid. Are we coming back in for another 5? I'll tell you what, we're going quarters. Would anyone like a 250 here? It's been a good battle online. Would you like to go again? At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000. All finished and done then. Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to count it down. Make no mistake. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000 the bid. 6,250. Thank you, sir. At £6,250 is bid. Gentleman's bid. At 6,250 online, would you like to go 6,500? At £6,250, 6,500, Guernsey's back. I'll tell you what, sir, you come this far. Would you like to go in 100? 6,600 next. At 6,500, I'll take 6,600 from anyone else if not. At 6,500, it's off to Guernsey here. A lovely car it is. At 6,500, are we finishing done? At 6,500. At 6,000, 6,500, last chance. Fair warning, finishing done then, off to Guernsey here at £6,500 and selling, so make no mistake, 6,600, thank you, sir, at 6,000, hammers in hand, I'm going to sell it. At 6,006, 6,700's bid. At 6,007, at 6,700, are you sure? Hammers up then, once, twice, finishing done, off to Guernsey it goes at £6,700. Sold at £6,700. Off to Guernsey. Thanking you. 11701. Moving on to lot number 284, 1984 Mercedes-Benz. It's the 280 SL this time. Another lovely one in the SLs in today's sale. I'm going to go straight in at 4, 4.5, 5, £6,000. 6 is bid. With you online. Take it. 6 is bid. At 6,005, 6,500, 7. Coming in, surely. At 6,005 is your bid online. At 6,005. Go 7 for one more. At 6,005 with the online bid in 7. Thanking you. At 7,005. At 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. Would you like to go 8? 8 you do. £8,000 is bid. At 8,005. Thanking you online bidders there. At 8,005 you're in the lead now. At 8,005. At 8,500, 8,500, 8,500. Would you like to go 9? At 8,500 we are bid. At 8,500, 8,500, 8,500. I'll tell you what, we'll take the quarters from this point. Coming back in for the small bites. At 8,500 the bid is here online. At 8,500. Would anyone else like to have a go here on the SL 280 then at 8,500? At 8,585, at 8,500. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance. Fair warning, I'm going to submit the bid today. At 8,500 once, twice, finished and done at £8,500. That's provisionally. With you online, 8,500. We're nearly there. We'll get that phone call and we will be in touch very shortly. 20814, 20814. Thanking you. Moving on to my last sheet as well. So it's nearly there, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 285. The Mazda vendor has found an invoice for recent oil filter and spark plug services and 4 handbook tires as well. Is that correct? Hannock tires. There we go. There we go. That is the announcement to be made on that. It wasn't there originally, but it is now. There we go. The 2008. It's the MX-5, the Mazda 2-litre Sport. No reserve again. Let's get it gone today. 5's bid. Thank you online at 500. We'll go 1,000. Even better. 1,000's bid. 1,500 next if we can. £1,000. £1,000 is bid. We'll go 1,200 then. We'll try it. 1,200. Coming in for the 2s. At 1,200, will you? £1,000 is bid here. Cheshire bidder, 1,200. At 1,200, thanking you online. At 1,200, say 14 next. At £1,200 for an MX-5. At just £1,200 is bid. 14's bid, thank you, sir. At 1,400, gentleman's bid over there. At 1,400, online you need to go 16. 16 they do. 18, thanking you at 1,800. Gentleman's bid, they're back in at 1,800. Online make it 2. At 1,800, 1,800. At £1,800, no reserve, it must be sold. Make no mistake, hammers up once at 1,800, twice. Finished and done then, last chance fair warning at £1,800. Gentlemen here at 1,800. 782, thank you, 782, £1,800 sold your way. Lot number 271, not that long ago, the Triumph Stag sold away at £8,250, thanking you. Lot number 286, another one of the Volvos. It's the V70, this time in the baby blue colour there. And we're going to go straight in at 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, £5,000 we bid. At £5,000. Go 250 next if we can though. 5,000's bid with me and then ask for 250 next. At 5,000, 5,000. At 5,000 bid. Say 250 if you're coming in. At £5,000 on the book with me. It's going to sell today. Make no mistake. Lovely Volvos these are at just £5,000. Hammers up. Would anyone like a 250 at £5,000? I'm going to sell at 5,000 once. At 5,000 twice. Finished and done. Sells this time on the book with me at £5,000. Sold it, £5,000. Thank you there, bidder number 3030 who left that bid. Moving on to lot number 287, the last lot of the day, but sadly is already sold. So that one there, the BMW 628, sold away. I'm just going to say it one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get your cars in, they are on sale from the word go. That's what we do differently here at Manor Park Classics. They are on sale from the moment they get here. Your bikes, your cars, the earlier you get them here, the better for everyone, the better social media coverage they get, and the better chance of getting them sold. Thank you very much to all the bidders and vendors who put their cars in or bought some cars today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your auctioneer. I've been Thomas Rose. We've been Manor Park Classics. See you next weekend at Barron's.